gonna try this. We're gonna try this one more time. If it's clipping, we're gonna have to save it for tomorrow. Let me know if everything is running smoothly. Let me know if the joint is clipping. Let me know if y'all can hear me, see me clearly. Shout out to everybody, man. I'm trying this one more time. Hopefully it'll go through smoothly, and if it goes through smoothly, then we good. If it don't go through smoothly, then we're gonna have to save it for later. But I want to get this this live stream out. You feel what I'm saying? So far we good. Okay, cool. So far we good. All right. So let's get this cracking, man. So basically, real quick. So for those who's watching the rebroadcast, I had to restart the computer and I had to restart all the shit because it was acting funny. And but here we go. The game don't stop. You feel what I'm saying? And we gonna get it cracking. All right. So shout out to Smooth Life. Shout out to my lady April MC for getting it cracking, getting it going. You feel what I'm saying? But before we get into that, real quick, let me do this again. Let me do the promo again. So make sure that you guys go to badboymembership.com. Make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com for the Bad Boy membership. Make sure you guys do that. You feel what I'm saying? Also, make sure that you guys go to masculineidentity.com to get the Masculine Identity Soap.
Do it!
You feel what I'm saying?
Just do it!
So far, everybody's saying it's running smoothly. Okay? So you guys can hear me. You guys can see me. Seems like we are good. You feel what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm doing this live stream is because I did a video, I think a couple weeks ago, probably a month ago or something like that. I can't remember exactly when it was. But basically, I was debunking the whole handsome man game thing, and I saw a content creator named Marv Over Matters video, right? So I used his video to talk about the handsome man game, because a lot of dudes who talk about handsome man game and got a lot of shit going on with that type of stuff, right? Now, what I want you guys to understand is this, is that before I begin, right, I want to apologize in advance, right? Because I'm going to be glazing myself heavy in this fucking video, okay? So I want to apologize in advance, okay? Because what I find funny is that a lot of these guys on the internet, talk about handsome man game. And before I get into this, I want to say that this is not a me getting on Marv Over Matter. I just want to make that clear, right? It's not me getting on him, because I actually have a lot of respect for the Marv Over Matter, because at least he made a video response talking about the points of the video that I had, right? See, a lot of guys on the internet, they're too scared to make response videos to the points I make. You understand what I'm saying? Because most times you can't, because the game is not up for debate. And I'm going to also show you that in this video, but I at least respect this young brother, Marv Over Matter, for actually talking about the points, because you have a lot of dudes on the internet who they'll do videos about me or whatever, but they're never actually talking about the talking points. They're never actually talking about the game. You feel what I'm saying? So I want to, shout out to him for at least talking about the points and getting that shit cracking. Now, like I said, I apologize in advance, because I'm gonna be glazing myself this whole fucking episode, because what I want you guys to understand is that all these guys who talk about handsome man game, right? If anybody's gonna quote unquote talk about being handsome and the experiences of being a handsome guy, right? It needs to be me. Now, why are you saying that, Locario? What do you mean, Locario? The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm the only one. I'm the only guy, the only content creator that a lot of you guys watch. I don't even consider myself a content creator, but let's say the only guy on YouTube that has gotten paid for my looks. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I used to model, like, professionally. You understand what I'm saying? So I got paid to look good. Matter of fact, let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something real quick, because I got receipts today. Hold on. Let me show you guys something real quick. Hold on. Let me share the screen. Real quick. I told you I'm gonna be. All right. Let me type in David Lauren. All right. So, guys, do you know who this guy is? David Lauren. This guy right here. Right. This guy David Lauren. That is Ralph Lauren's son. You understand? That is Ralph Lauren's son. Now, let me show you guys something. Hold on. Now, remember his face. Now, who's this? Who's that guy? Look at the face. Who's that guy? Now, who's that guy next to that guy? Oh, shit, that's me. That's me. I used to model for huge companies like Polo Ralph Lauren. Wait a second. Who's this guy? Oh, shit. That's me. You see at the bottom, it says Polo Jeans Company, Ralph Lauren. So that means that big companies spent money to take pictures of me to put on billboards because of my looks. So if we're going to talk about any handsome man game, if we're going to talk about, oh, well, you know, what is it like to be a handsome, I'm the guy. You understand what I'm saying? Now, again, I told you, I apologize. I'm going to be glazing the whole fucking video. Because a wise man named Kendrick Lamar once said, sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, and I got more receipts. Don't worry, we're not done yet. I got more receipts. But the reason why I even brought that up in the first place is because I want you guys to understand that when it comes to this handsome man game shit, remember, being handsome or good looking or whatever and all that shit is subjective. There's going to be some people who think you're good looking, some people who think you're not. There's people that look at me and are like, Locario, he's not good looking. He's a sub 5. He's not even good looking. What is it? I don't understand. Right? But what I'm trying to tell you guys is that this stuff is subjective. But what happens is that when guys talk about this handsome man game stuff, what they're doing is that they are disregarding the game. And so what happens is that they think that if they're handsome, that they have to do some different shit. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is that you don't have to do any different shit because there's no such thing as handsome man game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this Marv over Matter video. So he was responding to a video of me. So I'm going to, play the video that he put out based on the video I put out, and I'm going to be responding to that. So let me start this shit real quick. Let me bring this up. Let me see if I could make the thing playback speed a little bit faster. Let me do 1.25. And so he's going to be responding to the video that I did of him about a handsome man game. Right. And then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be responding back to the video. Hold on, let me get to there we go. That's the one I like. That's the one I like. You understand what I'm saying? That's the one I like. You said that's proving his point. You being handsome got you the gig. I didn't know that we was going to be wrong this early. Like I didn't know that wrong information was going to happen this early, right? What you got to understand is I'm showing you that I got jobs because I was handsome, or they thought I had the handsome look for the job, right? When we talk about handsome man game, they're talking about your game in relation to dating women and how that affects you dating women. I'm just showing you that I am the guy who can tell you about this handsome man shit because I got paid for being handsome. That's two different fucking things. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just showing you that I got actual money and paid because of the way I look. So if these people are choosing me based on that, right? And on top of that, when I deal with women, I have women who tell me I'm handsome. I'm going to show you some receipts after that too. I mean, in a little bit too. What I'm saying is I'm letting you know that you being handsome doesn't equate to you having to deal with handsome man game, because handsome man game doesn't exist. You see what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let's continue. Let's go.
People and people on his level, because he's been doing this for a long time. So people on his level, seeing my channel and it's standing out to them, it means I'm making some progress. So it like I said, it only makes sense to respond to it. So in the video, he makes some points that I strongly disagree with, obviously, because I talk a lot about handsome man's game. I know there's a difference between that and average man's game.
There's no such thing as handsome man game, average man game, below average man game, but we're going to get into that.
Listen to what he says, and then we'll kind of just break down the logic or lack of logic that he's using.
Today's topic, we're talking about how there ain't no such thing as handsome man game. There ain't no, it's not a thing, guys. And I've talked about this topic before, but I keep seeing more videos pop up with this handsome man game shit. And I'm trying to tell you guys that there's no such thing. So what happens is you have a lot of guys out there who, feel that they're handsome guys. And what they're doing is they're trying to separate themselves or come up with some sort of philosophy to understand why, you understand what I'm saying, they're having issues they're having or situations they're having now. I've done videos in the past where I talked about, when you're a good looking guy, right? There are certain experiences that you're going to have based on women perceiving you to be good looking. But that is not something where you talk about it's handsome man game. It's just game. Game is game. You understand what I mean? Game is you understanding yourself, and having game is you having a strategy to get what you want out of this life. So what you got to understand is that when it comes to the game, it is a very, individualistic thing. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not this thing where you say, well, I'm handsome, so I'm going to go through these things. And this guy is not handsome, so he has to play a whole different game. No, it's not. That's not what it's about. What you guys have to understand is that when you get so confused with this is because you think, right, that when it comes to the game, that if you look a certain way, that gives you some sort of like special privilege or it could like hinder you in this other way. It's not really that. What it is that based on how women perceive you, right, and you understand that perception, then you understand why things are happening the way they're happening, and then you understand what strategy to take to get what you want in the situation.
So it seems like he kind of contradicted himself because he said, it's not like one guy has one experience, another guy has another experience, so they have two different types of game. And then he said, having game helps you understand, how the woman perceives you. And then once you see how the woman perceives you, then you know how to move based on how she perceives you. Now, the reason it's called handsome man's game is because if a woman perceives you as handsome, you're going to get a certain reaction, right? Which is true. Because before he tried to make it seem like there's no difference in the experiences, he said he did a video where he talks about how when you're a good looking guy, you're going to have certain experiences. So that means they're different experiences than the average guy would have. So
Wait, I'm gonna let him continue. Then I'm gonna go in.
Your experiences are different. You have to respond to them differently, which means your game has to be different. So I thought that was a bit of a contradiction.
So basically he's saying it's a contradiction because I said if women perceive you a certain way, right, then you're gonna have to understand how to move in a way because a woman perceives you this way. Therefore, it's gonna be a different thing than the other person. So he's like, oh, well, how's he saying that? But then it's a contradiction of saying it's a contradiction to have handsome man game because, this person is handsome and this person is not. So it's going to be two different things right now. This is what a lot of you guys don't understand. See, and before I even get into this, I want you guys to know that this is not just semantics, because I know someone's gonna be like, but Locario, isn't that just saying the same thing? You're just like saying like you just don't want to call it handsome man game, but it really is handsome man game because the handsome guys got to go through this stuff. No, it's not semantics, right? What I'm saying is this. It's like saying, right, if you have a basketball player who is, let's say, 7 feet, right? That's like you saying, well, this is tall man basketball game, because usually the guys are like between 6'1", 6'2", 6'5", and you're like 7 foot. So because you're really tall, this is tall guy basketball game, right? No, you won't say, hey, you're going to learn tall guy basketball game. You're going to say, you need to learn the game of basketball. You understand what I'm saying? So, for example, if Shaq is playing basketball, right? Does Shaq need to learn tall man basketball game, or does Shaq need to learn the game of basketball? You understand? See, remember, Shaq couldn't really shoot free throws. Like, free throws is his weakness. So was Shaq not able to shoot free throws because he was tall? Or was Shaq not able to shoot free throws because in the game of basketball, his skill wasn't where it needed to be? You understand what I'm saying? Think about boxing. Remember Deontay Wilder, and he was, I think, fighting Tyson Fury? Does Deontay Wilder need to learn black man boxing game, or does he need to learn the game of boxing? Does Deontay Wilder need to know black man boxing knockout artist game, or does he need to know the game of boxing? You see what I'm saying? So when you guys are trying to split all these things up, what you're doing is you're making your identity based just on your looks. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you try to make your identity based on your looks, then you think that the reason why you're having trouble is mostly or mainly because of your looks. Just like a guy who's on the basketball court who's 7 feet and who doesn't know how to dribble really well or can't shoot free throws, he gonna think, man, it's because I'm tall, so I gotta play a different thing in order to win. No, you just need to learn how to play fucking basketball. You see what I'm saying? And this is what a lot of guys don't understand. See, when you're separating things as, oh, this is handsome man game, what you're essentially saying is your identity is rooted in you being handsome. See, when we talk about having a masculine identity, it's about you understanding who you are. Who you are is deeper than something surface level, which is your looks. But let's continue. You see what I'm saying? So, for example, let's say, for example, a girl is intimidated by you, which is why she's acting shy around you, but she still has some interest in you, right? What's going to happen is that because you don't understand that she's just, hold on, wait, let me see what this fool's saying. He said, Shaq could never play like Allen Iverson. His skill set caters to his size. That was a bad analogy. Nobody's talking about Shaq playing like Allen Iverson. We're talking about Shaq playing like Shaq. You understand what I'm saying? So no matter who the guy is, he needs to be able to know how to shoot free throws. He doesn't need to shoot free throws like Allen Iverson. He just needs to get the ball in the fucking net. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what you guys don't understand, is that you guys are trying to nitpick this thing, but I'm going to show you that you can't nitpick the game, because the game is an all-encompassing thing. You don't separate little things and say, well, this is handsome man game, and this is rich man game, and this is status man game. Nonsense. But let's continue. Let's continue. Shy, you're going to think she doesn't like you at all based on how she's moving and how she's interacting with you, right? But she might be intimidated based on how you look, because she might think you look really good, and she might think that guys who look that good aren't going to be interested in her, even though she might be physically or sexually attracted to a guy that looks that way. But the thing is that if you don't understand the game, then you're not going to understand why this is happening, and you're going to misinterpret why certain things are going down. Do you see?
Right. Now, that right there is an example of something that happens and something you would have to use handsome man's game for, because the average guy, that's not happening to him, right? That's not happening to him. He's not having a situation or multiple situations where girls consistently feel like, oh, he's out of my league. So then they act shy and they pull away from him and they act like they don't like him, or they act cold towards him. So the average guy, when a woman is acting that way towards him, it's probably because she doesn't like him. It's not because she's so intimidated and thinks he's going to hurt her down the line, right? So the responses that they have to that same behavior from the woman have to be different. And the understanding about what is driving the behavior, right, is different. It's a different drive. So
see what he doesn't understand, and what most guys don't understand is because when they think on a surface level, right, is he's saying, well, the girl is going to respond to him this way because he's handsome, right? But then you have to understand, okay, what happens if you have a lot of money and a girl perceives or thinks you're rich, right? So a girl's going to respond to you a certain way because she thinks you're rich, and she might think, oh, I can get him for his money, I can get him to trick, I can get him to do all these things, right? So now do we play rich man's game or are we just learning how to have game? Let's say you have a certain status and the chick is gravitating to you or perceives you have this high status, right? Now, does the guy need to learn game or does he need to learn status man game? What if he has looks, money, and status? Does he need to learn handsome man game, status man game, and rich man game? Or does he just need to learn game? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because whatever happens based on you understanding the perception that women may have of you, that is just you having the knowledge to understand that the woman is coming at you a certain way based on you having that awareness. You understand? But the thing is that is not a thing where you separate it and call that a particular type of game. You understand? Because again, like I said, if you start doing that, you're going to identify with that one particular thing and make that one particular thing your identity. You understand? So if a chick is fucking with you because you're rich, or, you know, she thinks you're rich because you're wearing a bunch of chains and you flashing a bunch of money or whatever it is, and she perceives you that way, right? And then you notice that, damn, a lot of times when I'm out and I'm dealing with chicks, right? They be always trying to ask me to buy them something. They be wanting me to pay their rent. They be wanting me to let it rain. And then now some guy goes on the internet and say, hey guys, you need to learn rich man game, because since you're rich or women perceive you to be rich, this is how they're going to come at you. And you got to figure out why you're having trouble. So you need to learn this rich man's game. But see, that's the fucked up part, because you're identifying your identity as the rich guy. And the rich guy is not who you are. You understand what I'm saying? See, when it comes to game, it's about who you are, not what you look like, not how much money you have, not what's your status. It's who the fuck you are. And so if you start to think, man, well, there's this handsome man game, and that's part of this, my big identity as to why I'm having this trouble with women, because they're acting this way because I'm handsome. I need to learn this handsome man game. You're fucking up. Because it's not that you need to learn handsome man game, it's you don't have game, which is why you're not actually attracting the woman. You understand? But let's continue.
They're two different experiences. Right. So again, this example that he used kind of like only proves the point that there is a difference between a handsome man's experience and therefore his game, and an average man's experience and therefore his game.
You know what I'm saying? Also, a lot of times guys confuse physical attraction for sexual attraction. We're gonna get into all of this stuff today, so you guys know.
That is true. That's not necessarily the same thing. Physical attraction can lead to sexual attraction, but it's not the exact same thing.
Exactly. And so, because physical attraction and sexual attraction is not exactly the same thing, but there are times where a woman is sexually attracted to you because of the physical, but in most cases, that's not the case, right? Then what you have to understand is that the fact that you are handsome, or she sees you as handsome, right, doesn't mean that that's going to have that much impact, because she still needs to see if you're sexually attractive. Being sexually attractive is the strongest form of attraction. You understand? So if sexual attraction is stronger than just physical attraction, then that means that physical attraction, i.e. handsome man game, doesn't really hold weight, because if it's all just about your look of being handsome, right, then it doesn't serve that much impact unless that equates to sexual attraction. But let's continue.
Physical attraction will aid in sexual attraction. Right, but you can be physically attractive, like perfect to the girl, and still not be sexually attractive if your behavior is not right.
Understand what's going on. Now, what I want to say is this, right? Remember, guys, looks are subjective. So some women are going to think you're handsome, some women are going to think you're not handsome, right? Now, you can have your own opinion on whether or not you think you're handsome. So you could say I'm handsome, or you could think you're not handsome, right? Now, when it comes to this, it's not about something being a handsome man's game. Right? It's about when you're interacting with women, do you understand how women perceive you when we talk about the topic of being handsome? I want you to follow what I'm saying here, because it's very, very important. do you understand how women perceive you when it comes to if they see you as handsome or not? You understand what I'm saying? Because, and when I say how women perceive, I'm saying in general, because remember, it's all subjective, and there's going to be some women who think you're good looking or whatever, and some women who think you're not, right? But what I'm saying is that in general, right, what's the perception that women will have of you, right? And so if you don't understand the perception that the women have of you, then you can't use you being handsome, right, as the thing to go on. Because how do you know that a large number of women perceive you as handsome? How do you know in general that women perceive you as handsome? So you can say you're handsome, which is cool, but how do women perceive you? Have you had the experience that women generally tell you in some form or fashion that you're handsome, right? And does it happen consistently? You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys, what happens is they'll be like,
so everything he said right there, absolutely true. Absolutely true. Like if you can't just decide that you're handsome. And I always talk about this. That's why I say you can't rate somebody. Another man can't rate you. It's not about what, other guys say. It's not about how close you look to somebody else that's handsome. It's not about any of that. How do women react to you? How do women respond to you? What have been your own personal experiences in your life? If over the course of your life, right? And this is going to be less so maybe if you're a teenager, because maybe maybe puberty is what saves you and then you become handsome, right? So if you're in your 20s, if you're like 25 or early 20s, like by like college, right? You've gone through college, or if you're...
And also what you got to understand is that a woman perceiving you as handsome doesn't mean anything in the long run. The only reason why I was bringing that up is because there's a lot of guys who do handsome man game videos. And the question I'm asking is, do women perceive you as handsome for you to even relate to something like a handsome man game? You understand what I'm saying? So this is what I mean. You're going to have a guy out there who has trouble attracting women. And then he's going to say, oh, it's because I'm just really good looking and these women are intimidated by me. And women feel some type of way about me being handsome. They probably think I'm a player. And that's why I'm not getting girls. Right? But what happens is that they're probably not getting women, not because they're handsome and women are intimidated by them and all that bullshit. They're not getting women because they're insecure. They don't have a tight mouthpiece. Right? They're scared to approach women, right? They simp. Like there's all these other things that cause them to not be able to attract women, but then they'll look at it as, oh, well, it's because, my handsomeness is scaring all these women away. At least my handsomeness is making women think that I'm this like super player guy and they don't want to fuck with me. No, it ain't got nothing to do with you being handsome. It's because she don't like you because she's not actually attracted to you even though you're handsome. And she's not attracted to you because you ain't confident. She's not attracted to you because you don't know how to fucking talk. She's not attracted to you because you're not assertive or aggressive. She's not attracted to you because you don't know how to dress. She's not attracted. You see what I'm saying? There's all these things as to why she's not attracted to you, but because you believe in handsome man game, you think the reason why you're having trouble is because you're handsome. And all the things that go with you being handsome of, oh, well, she's intimidated and this and this and that. No, it's because you ain't got no fucking game. Right? But let's continue.
Of graduating age, like 22, you should have had quite a few experiences that will lead you to believe that women find you handsome. You'll go to places and you'll be the handsome guy in the place. All the girls will kind of feel a certain way about you. You'll hear about girls liking you and having crushes on you. And, girls will come up and tell you that they like you, have crushes on you, especially if you're in college. Like you'll have experiences if you're around alcohol, girls are going to be bolder. They're going to come up and talk to you. They're going to come up and try to dance with you. They're going to, it's going to be clear that, okay, women find me handsome. Like women think I'm pretty good looking. Right. So there are some people who just decide, okay, I'm having problems with girls. I must be too intimidating. But if there's no experiences that back up that women find you really attractive, then you're just jumping the gun. You're trying to find, and you're doing what he said, and you're just putting yourself in this category to try to like separate yourself and solve for your problem, right? So he's right about that. Your experiences have to back up the fact that you're handsome for you.
And see, what's interesting is that if women consider you handsome and you're having trouble, that actually brings more light to the fact that your game is weak. Because you can attract women with your physical appearance, meaning you catch a woman's eye, but then you can't do nothing to keep the situation going. You can't do nothing to get shit popping. So what is that saying? That's saying that your game is fucking weak. So it's not this thing where, damn, well, I'm handsome and that's the reason why shit is not popping off. No, it's shit's not popping off because your game's weak. And in fact, you being handsome makes it worse. But they're going to be like, but Locario, that's why we need handsome man game, bro, because we need a, no, nigga, you just need to learn how to do shit. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
You need to then be like, okay, this is why I'm doing poorly with women or well with women or whatever it is.
Well, I'm a good looking dude. And so I gotta pay attention to this handsome man game. And maybe because I don't understand handsome man game, that's the reason why I've been having so much trouble attracting women. So let me go into YouTube and type in handsome man game and try to figure out what these guys are saying about handsome man game so that I can learn the handsome man game so I can get the girls too, right?
Wrong. I feel like most people who I've spoken to anyways, who come across my videos and come across handsome man's game in general, it's because in the same way I got into it and I stumbled upon it, was that you're getting called handsome. You're getting these experiences that girls are telling you handsome. People are telling you, oh, this girl said this about you. This happened. Girls are coming up and talking to you. Girls are coming up and dancing with you. But you don't know how to transition that attention that you get into results with women.
And also, a shout out to KZ. He said essentially he doesn't know how to maintain the momentum of attraction. That's a behavioral thing, not a physical aesthetic thing. That's a fact. Also, what he's saying too is he's like, well, if you're handsome and you're getting women coming up to you, wanting to dance with you, giving you attention, but you don't know how to transition or do anything, right? See, you don't have to be handsome for a woman to want to come up to you and dance with you at a dance party. You don't have to be handsome for a woman to want to like give you attention, because women are attention whores. So you'll be at a party and a chick will just be dancing in the middle of the fucking dance floor. She'll come up and dance up on you or be in your vicinity, in your area, doing all that other shit. And she don't even think you handsome, right? Or you could be dancing on the dance floor too. And because she see you dancing, she roll up on you, do what you understand what I'm saying? It's not be like, oh, well, this girl came up to me because I'm handsome. No, she came up to you because she was dancing and you was dancing. Y'all were at a dance party. She came up to you because you was at a networking party and you were networking. She came up to you because you was in an event and people were socializing. You see what I'm saying? But again, you're going to equate that as you being handsome, right? Because that's the way you cope. But let's continue.
Right? That's how a lot of men stumble into handsome man's game. They don't just wake up one day and decide, oh, you know what? I'm handsome. It's probably because I'm too handsome. Because anybody who doesn't really know game isn't going to think that being more handsome is a problem. You have to have a certain level of experience and a certain level of knowledge to even know that that's a thing, right? So the only people who would stumble upon handsome man's game for the most part are people who are like, yo, what's the problem? I'm always getting called handsome, but yet I can't close.
But see, it doesn't matter if they stumble upon it or they Google it. The fact that you can scroll through YouTube and you see something that says handsome man's game, right? And this person has been called handsome before, they're going to click on that. Or if they think they're handsome, they're going to click on that, right? And then they're going to think, oh, so this is why I've been having trouble with women. I have to learn handsome man game, not average man game like the rest of these guys. I'm handsome. I got to learn the handsome man game. What? Let's continue.
But yet I can't get this girl on a date. But yet, whenever I make a move, she's resisting. Like, what is it about? It's because it's a confusing thing. Like, he's
see, and this is the problem. He said, I'm trying to get a date, she's resisting. See, these guys, because they're handsome, right? They think they're entitled to women, right? This is the mindset. They think because I'm handsome, women should want me because I look good. And then when I try to get a date with her and she gives me resistance, I'm confused. And then I go on the internet and I'm going across red pill videos. I'm going across these videos. Oh shit, what's this handsome man game thing? Let me click on that. Hey guys, check this out. My name is Handsome Guy and I want to teach you about handsome man game. You know, you ever try to approach a woman and she's just not interested? And you're like, this doesn't make any sense because I'm handsome, bruh. So Guys, what you got to understand is every woman that you talk to is going to be intimidated by you. So because women are intimidated by you, you need to learn this handsome man game so that you can get girls. What? Let's continue.
Talking about it like it's just a random thing, but there's guys who are really like struggling because it's very confusing when your experience is telling you you're handsome, right? Part of your experience is telling you you're handsome. People are telling you you look good. Girls are reacting to you in a way that's like, you see the other guys are not getting that reaction. You see that they're not having these experiences, but yet when you actually try to make the move and you try to go and you try to do what you need to do, it doesn't translate.
Yeah, you're confused because you don't realize you don't have game. A woman could give you attention because she's physically attracted to you. You are physically appealing. See, understand this. All attraction means is that there is something pulling you toward it. It gets your attention. So the woman might see you and think you're a handsome guy. But handsome does not equate to her wanting to fuck you. Handsome does not equate to her wanting to date you. So that's why you're confused. See, again, when you don't have game, your thought is, well, I'm handsome. She should want to fuck with me. That only makes sense, right? But because you don't understand the game, you don't realize that you being handsome means that she may be physically attracted to you, but not sexually attracted to you. That means that she may think you're handsome, but also think you're fucking lame. So do you need to learn handsome man game, or do you need to learn game and realize that who you are is not just your looks? Let's continue.
Right, and you don't end up having so many girls that you don't know what to do with, even though you get the attention of so many girls that you wouldn't know what to do with. Right, so people are not just coming on YouTube and just randomly typing this in. They're confused, so they're looking for answers. That's
exactly. And so if they're confused and looking for answers, why is the answer to tell them that they need to learn a handsome man game and make them think there's different things like an average man game and make them think that they're special, to even make them even more entitled to think that, oh, I'm special, so I need to do this other thing. See, the reason why they're having the issue in the first place is because they felt special in the first place and feeling entitled because they were handsome. So now you're going to make them feel even more entitled by saying there's a handsome man game instead of them actually just learning game. And learning game is learning about yourself, learning about who you are, tapping into who you really are to see the value in you. It's not about no surface level shit about how you look. Are we serious here? Let's continue.
That's how people stumble across handsome men's game.
Because obviously, since I'm such a good looking guy and I'm still having trouble, it's because I don't understand the handsome man game. You see what I'm saying? And this is how April said a mouthful right there. If you believe in handsome man game, then realize that it can be taken away from you. Exactly. So now, if you're not handsome anymore or something happens to your face, then what now? Now, or maybe you got to transition to the average man game. What are we talking about? Let's continue. That's how stupid this shit is. So what you have to understand is that you have to get out of the mindset of it being handsome man game. You understand? Because then what you're doing is that you're missing the point of understanding game, right? Because the thing is, the game is about you. So you have to understand yourself and understand the world around you and how you experience that world. So this is why I said, are you the guy who women perceive you as a handsome guy? Do you have women on dating apps typing in their fucking inbox on about, hey, handsome? When you hook up with a girl the first night, does she tell you how sexy and hot she thinks you are? You understand what I'm saying? Is this happening on a consistent basis? See, a lot of guys, they go overboard with this. They think handsome man game is, well, I'm so handsome that, I'm going to walk outside and chicks are going to be, checking me out all day and women are going to run up to me and all this other shit, right? Now,
you see, and this is where the argument starts getting shaky, because right now he says a lot of guys go overboard with it, and they think that when they go outside, girls are just going to be running up to me and chasing me because I'm handsome, right? So he's alluding to the fact that that's not the truth. That's not what happens when you're handsome. That's what guys imagine is what happens when you're handsome. But while he's in the middle of this thought, he realizes that he can use this to his advantage. So then watch what he does.
What I want to say is that most guys, right, are not going to have women running up to them. Like any guy watching this right now under the sound of my voice, guys out here trying to reinvent the wheel with these internet terms, either you gamed up or you're not. That's a fact. Exactly. That's a fucking fact. They say saying that I'm saying the argument to use an argument to my advantage. You don't need to use any argument to your advantage when you understand the game and have game. This is real simple, but let's continue. Voice, right? How many women have approached you today? How many? I'll wait because you're so handsome. How many women, fuck that, do even better. How many women have approached you this week since you're so handsome? You see what I'm saying? You're so handsome that, you know, all of these women are just, you know, you go to the coffee shop, you go get your dry cleaning done, you know, you go to the gas station. How many women are approaching you and coming up to you and trying to get your number? I'll wait because you're so handsome, right? Now, let's go on another thing. Forget the girls approaching you because I know they're not approaching you, right? So how many women are giving you, like, let's say, choosing signals, like actual choosing signals, meaning that she's looking at you with a lustful stare? How many women have done that today? I'll wait. How many women was I fucking you today? I will wait. All right. How many women this week? Forget today, this week. We'll give you some more time. How many women this week were giving you that lust? Not a chick who just looked at you and you call eye contact for 2 seconds. I'm talking about a woman who is staring at you, checking you out, and she can't keep her eyes off you. How many has that happened this week? You understand? So if these things are not happening, as far as women checking you out heavy, or women checking you out so heavy that they're actually compelled to approach you and make something happen, what the fuck is this handsome man game shit? What are we talking about?
Okay, so you see, like I said, he started off saying guys go overboard with this, thinking that girls are going to chase them and, you know, come up to them and, you know, act like fans, basically. But then as he was trying to prove his point, he switched it and he tried to use that as a criteria for you being handsome, right? When he knows that even the most handsome guys, that's not happening all the time, every single day.
Okay, so now if that's not happening to the handsome men and it's not happening to the non-handsome men, then what's the difference? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what's the difference? So if handsome men aren't getting any special treatment, then why do we need a handsome man game and then an average man game? If this situation is similar, where women aren't approaching these average guys, women aren't approaching these handsome guys. Women are not really doing all this extra shit for the handsome guys or the average guys. So what are we talking about? Let's continue.
Right. We know that's not happening because earlier in the video, he brought up the fact that women can be intimidated by you when you're handsome. Oh, and we're going to get into that women being intimidated by you because you're handsome thing a little later, but let's keep it going for now. Cause I gotta see, this is why I actually, and shout out to him. Like I said, I don't know if I said it on this video clip, but the one that we was doing earlier, I appreciate that he even did this response. You understand? Because it gives me time to break down the game even further, because a lot of you guys don't really know how deep the game goes. Because when dudes think surface level, this is why they're confused. And this is why they gravitate to shit like handsome man game, because they don't understand how deep the game goes. But let's continue. Right. So the two things, although they can both exist, cancel each other out. Right. So for him to use this as criteria for you being handsome, girls coming up to you and just being bold and checking you out and doing all this, but knowing that women are intimidated by guys that they find very attractive, right? But by him using that criteria, it's very misleading. And it's strictly to prove the point that he's trying to make.
No, so let me get into this whole intimidating, you being handsome and intimidating, right? You're only intimidating when you're handsome if, right, the woman perceives you to actually be attractive, right? Overall attractive in conjunction with you being handsome, right? So what does that mean? That means that a woman sees you from across the room. She thinks you're handsome, right? At this point, she's not intimidated unless you being handsome or she thinking you're handsome reminds her of some other guy who was handsome that maybe did her dirty or played her or whatever the fuck it was, right? Now, the other part of the situation when it comes to intimidation is if the woman is, let's say at the party, she sees you, you approach her and you start talking to her, you start interacting with her, going back and forth, you're flirting, and you're so fucking smooth, charismatic, and awesome right? That's intimidating because not only is your energy like this, but you are handsome on top of it, right? Now, if you're a handsome guy and you're across the room and you approach the woman and you sound like Urkel or you sound like a lame, she's not going to be intimidated by you because you're handsome. Why? Because she's going to think you're fucking lame, even though you're handsome. See, think about it this way. Think about if you have, let's say, a woman in her house and she sees like a dust bunny in the corner of her room and she jumps and she's like, oh my God, because she thought it was a mouse. You understand? So at first, her perception was, this is a mouse, I'm scared. Then when she looked further, she was like, oh, that's just a fucking dust bunny. Whatever, I'm not scared of that shit. So it's the same thing. When a woman sees the handsome guy, it's like, oh, wow, he's handsome. Oh my God, I'm so intimidated by this handsome, smooth, charismatic guy that I think he is. And then he comes over and approaches her and talks to her. She's like, man, this dude's lame. Do you understand what I'm saying? So just you being handsome within itself is not intimidating. It's only intimidating by itself if she has the perception, right, of you being like a handsome guy that she knew in her past, being the handsome guy that she thinks is that player who could fuck her over. But she still needs to interact with you to see if you're really that guy. You understand? But again, you need game to understand this. Not handsome man game. You need to learn fucking game. You understand? But let's continue.
Right? Because he knows that that's not the reality. That happens very occasionally, even for the most handsome men. You're not going to go every way you go to the grocery store, to this place, to that place, and girls are just running up and chasing you, right? It can happen in all of those places, but it may not happen all the time, right? There are certain environments where it's more likely to happen. If you're on a night out, right? If you're on a night out, how often do you get approached? If you go out 10 times, how often are you going to get approached? If it's 0, no, you're not handsome. If it's 5, you know what I'm saying? A 50-50 chance you're going to get approached or not, you're probably a handsome guy.
Guys, let me tell you guys something. 99.9999999999999999999% of men are not going to get approached. They're not. Listen, remember, when I was modeling back in the day, I used to hang out with models. You understand? Those are my friends. Those are the people I was rolling with. You understand? We would go to these clubs, bars, do all this other shit, hang out at night. Not one time, not once, did a chick approach these motherfuckers. Not one time. Now, were there times where we were in some place and maybe a chick checked the guy out here and there every once in a blue? Of course. But it was never to the point where women were gawking, women were running up on niggas and approaching them. And these are the niggas you see on the Abercrombie and Fitch bags, you know what I'm saying? Those pictures and shit, those niggas on the posters, all those model niggas. These chicks were not running up on them. You understand what I'm saying? They were not doing it. So a lot of times these guys have delusions of grandeur. But let's continue.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's levels to handsomeness, right? Because he's saying, okay, if she's not staring at you so much that she's like, oh my God, ready to strip right there and just give it to you, then you're not handsome. That's also poor criteria.
No, I'm not saying that you're not handsome. I'm saying that it doesn't make a difference to single out being handsome. If none of those things are happening, what I'm saying is, what's the difference between you and a guy you would consider not handsome? Nothing. Because you guys have basically the same experience as far as the reactions you're going to have from women. So what I mean is that how is the reactions you get from women dramatically different than the reactions average guys get from women in order for it, there needs to be a handsome man game. Let's continue.
Because one girl may see you that way and be like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to give it to him right now. But another girl might see you and be like, damn, he's cute. But, you know, or she might have a boyfriend, or she might, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other variables to this that you just today or this week having girls come up to you and talking to you or staring you up and down, right? That's not a criteria. That's just not going to happen every single day. For some guys, it might. If they dress nice, if they this, if they, you know what I'm saying, if they do other certain things in addition to just being handsome, right? That might happen to them more often. But that's not something that's just going to happen every single day or even every week. If you spend all your time at home, it's not going to happen to you today. So does that mean, or this week, does that mean you're not handsome because you just were home? So when you're home, you're not handsome. You know what I'm saying? Like there's way more variables.
See, that doesn't make any sense because if you're at home, you're not being exposed to people. I'm saying if you're exposed to people and women are not flocking to you in droves on a consistent basis, then what is the difference between a handsome man and an average looking guy? If y'all are both not getting chicks running you down, if y'all both have to still go and approach women, if y'all both still have to go and talk to the chick, what's the difference? Listen to
it. Now, there's a point, there's some truth in what he's saying, right? So he's not just saying, he's not just completely wrong, right? If this has never happened to you, if this is something that in the past 6 months, past year has never happened to you, and you've been out and you've been around women and you know what I'm saying, you've been engaging, you go out a lot, whatever it is, the last year, last 2 years, 3 years, it hasn't happened, okay. Then he got a point. You probably shouldn't be following handsome man's game because you're not having the situations that require you to use handsome man's game. So in that scenario, in that time frame, in a larger time frame, what he's saying is true, but to condense it down to a day or a week, everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's doing different things at different times. You could come across the women who are just more shy. And so now they avoid you, right? They're doing the opposite of what he's saying, but they're avoiding you because they find you attractive. So his criteria for you being considered handsome is very misleading.
Let's speed it up. What is the difference that you have to do versus the other guy? So if the women aren't approaching you, that means you got to approach them. So if you got to approach them, what's the difference between you and the guy who's not handsome?
Okay, let's answer that. So what's the difference, right? What's the difference? If you both got to approach a girl, right? What's the difference? On the surface, very, very surface level, that makes sense. What's the difference? But if you peel back even a layer, you'll see that argument crumbles, right? I'll give you an example. I'll flip it to women, right? If you see a girl who's one of the baddest girls you've ever seen, right? She looks so good. Her body's crazy. Her face is beautiful. Hair's on point. Skin flawless. No makeup. Right? She got whatever features it is that you really, really like. You really love in a woman. She's your perfect woman. Right? And then you see a girl who looks cute. Right? You're like, wow, she's cute. She's cute. Like I would talk to her. She's cute. And you approach both of them. Does that make them the same? Does that make them the same? Does that mean that this girl who's cute can act the same way as this girl who's the baddest girl you've ever seen, the most beautiful girl you've ever seen? Can they act the same? Are you going to respond to them the same? Are you going to have the same interaction with them?
Yes, I'm going to have the same interaction with them because I have game. Guys who don't have game are going to have different interactions with them because they're scared of approaching women. Right now, let's flip it back to the guys with the handsome man game, right? Because you're handsome, right? A woman's experience is handsome guys holler at them all the fucking time. You understand what I'm saying? All the time. So it's not like a woman's like, oh shit, this guy's handsome. What a amazing experience that I've never had before in my 28 years of living. You know, I get thousands of, messages in my DM for the past years or whatever. And, I've never had a handsome guy hit me up. This is such a treat. What are we talking about here? But let's continue.
Maybe some guys will, maybe, and a lot of guys will say they will, but in reality, they wouldn't. Right? The reality is your interest level is far different for this girl than it is for this girl.
Yeah, because that's you simping. And what I'm saying is guys will simp because that's how guys do it when they're dealing with a woman they think are really hot and they're dealing with a woman who they think is average, right? But when a woman is coming across a guy who she thinks is attractive, she'll be like, oh, he looks good. Yeah, he's a handsome guy, right? But it's not like, oh my God, I have to stop the world because he's handsome. Why? Because women are hit up by a bunch of dudes that's handsome all the time. And guess what? A lot of the guys that women talk to or interact with who they considered handsome, some of these niggas is lame. Actually, a lot of these dudes is lame. So that's her experience. So if that's her experience, why the fuck would she be so impressed by another handsome guy? Crazy.
And that's the difference. The attention that this girl is going to take from you is going to be way more than the attention that this girl will take from you, from beginning to the end of the interaction, from the beginning to the end. Everything you do with this girl is going to be different than the things you do with this girl, strictly because she looks far, far better. You have far more interest in her.
Yeah, because that's what, again, see, this is a hard explanation, or this is a hard example he's trying to do, because this example is true if you're a simp, which most guys are. And check this out. The ironic part is, because guys have this mentality, that's why they actually subscribe to handsome man game. Because in their thought is, well, if a girl is hot, I want her really bad. So if I'm hot, women should want me really bad. And because women aren't wanting me really bad and I'm a hot, sexy guy, I don't know what's happening. I need to learn. I need to learn something. What do I need to, handsome man game. That makes sense. Let me learn handsome man game, because I'm going through this because I'm handsome. Come on, man.
So just because you approach them both doesn't make them equals. It doesn't make them the same. It doesn't mean that anything in the interactions are going to be the same. It's just the female role to typically be approached, right? That's just how females operate. So they're the same sex, so their role is the same in the courting process or in the interaction, but that doesn't make them the same. So just because two men may approach a girl doesn't mean that the interaction is going to be the same. Her interest level is not going to be the same in the guy she finds really, really attractive versus the guy she's like, oh, he's kind of cute. The interest level is not going to be the same.
Now, let me say this real quick, because he's saying, well, if a woman is approached by a guy who's really, really physically attractive, her interest level is going to be the same as if she's approached by the guy who's the average guy, right? What he doesn't understand is that the approach where a woman thinks you're handsome, right, only gives you a smaller window of time above the average guy to be able to interact with the woman. Meaning that, let's say a woman thinks you're handsome and you try to holler at her in the street. She might stop immediately if she thinks you're a good looking dude. But once she stops, you have to fucking open your mouth. Now, check this out. Because she perceives you as that handsome guy, if your mouthpiece is horrible, you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to do these things, the fact that you're handsome is going to work against you, and that's going to make her look at you as even lamer. You understand? Now, you have an average guy, he stops her, he tries to stop her, and let's say she just doesn't stop immediately, but he says something else and she stops, and they have a conversation, but he's charismatic, smooth, confident, right? She's going to see that average guy as more attractive than the handsome guy. Because this is what you guys got to understand. Like I said earlier, sexual attraction is the strongest form of attraction, right? So what happens is, and he's probably going to allude to this in a video too, because I think he said this also, but a lot of guys who are handsome think they have a leg up because they're handsome. But what you don't understand is that sexual attraction and overall being an attractive guy will beat out just being handsome. So the thing is that if you don't have game, whether you're handsome or not, you're going to lose. And the most attractive guy is not the most handsome guy. I'm going to say that one more time. The most attractive guy is not the most handsome guy. The most attractive guy is the guy who is attractive overall. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Right? Off rip. So like I said, the same way that it would work for you with the beautiful and the cute girl, the difference is going to be the same thing for the guy she thinks is really, really attractive and the guy she thinks is kind of cute. The fact that you just both approached doesn't equalize you. It doesn't equalize you. It doesn't equalize your experience. It doesn't equalize her response to you. So that's how they're different. That's the difference between when you, as a really, really attractive guy, approach a girl or attractive guy, whatever, versus an average guy who, and I use an example of a guy who she thinks is cute. Now, that who she thinks is average, the interest is that much farther apart, her interest level. So the experience is going to be that much.
But there's no interest level yet. You haven't talked to her. You haven't interacted with her. This is what you guys don't understand. You think that you being physically attractive, handsome, holds a lot of weight. It does not. Again, I said this on other videos where I think I did a whole video, a whole YouTube live where I was talking about how to use your looks to your advantage. And all looks does is that it gets women to pay more attention to you, right? And gives you maybe 5 more seconds, right, of time when you stop a woman before she decides this ain't it. That's it. Now, if you want women to think you're handsome, then by all means, that's going to work for you. Women will think you're handsome, right? Now, my thing is, I'm sure you guys want to fuck. You don't want women to just think you're handsome. Because if you had a choice between a woman thinking you're handsome and fucking, and you could only choose one, I'm sure most of y'all would choose fucking. You see what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Different.
Right? They're not approaching you. The girls are checking you out, right? But guess what? You still have to go and approach them. So what's the difference between you having to approach them and the other guys having to approach them? What's the difference? Why? Because she looked at you? What's the difference? So what, her looking at you means that it's easier for you to get her? Really? Interesting. Because when you're talking to a woman and you're interacting with a woman, right, she still has to feel you out and see what's going on in the situation to see if she's really interested. Because she might think you're handsome from across the room. That doesn't mean she's sexually attracted to you. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm beginning to think because we're so thorough with this game shit, Locario, and we pretty much cover all bases anyway, that guys are just making shit up so they can have something to talk about. That's what, bro, I'm telling you. Bro, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking the same thing. That's a fact. Well, let's continue.
That part is true. What he's saying, this part right here is true. Like once, it doesn't matter how attractive she thinks you are, she still has to feel you out to make sure it's safe, to make sure it's this, to test some things out.
Exactly. So if she needs to fill you out, then what difference does it make that the handsome man versus the average man approached her? You see what I'm saying? He just said that it's going to be different. She's going to have more interest in the attractive man than the average guy. But if she has to fill you out to see what's up, then what difference does it make if he's the physically attractive guy or the average looking guy? Well, let's continue.
The difference is the things she's testing out, right? The things she's trying to see from the guy she thinks is really attractive is not, okay, why should I talk to him? It's like, okay, why shouldn't I talk to him? Is he doing this? Is he going to hurt me? Is he really interested in me? Is he just playing me? Does he have a whole bunch of girls, right? Is he a womanizer? Is he lying to me right now? These are the things that she's thinking when she's dealing with the guy she thinks is really attractive. Basically, is he a player? Now, when the guy who's average comes up, she's not thinking, oh, is he a player? She's not trying to see those different things.
But she's not thinking that unless... he thinks, okay, check this out. This is where he's going wrong. He thinks that just because he looks a certain way, she automatically thinks this. No. Okay, check this out. Let's say a good-looking guy, right? Walks into a coffee shop. And she's like, she looks and she sees him. Oh, he's a good-looking dude. Right? And he sees her and he walks up to her. Hey, excuse me. Hey, I'm so sorry to bother you. I was just, I saw you from across the room. I was just wondering, pardon me. I'm sorry. I was wondering, if it would be okay if, if it wasn't too forward, if I could ask you to, accompany me to, dinner sometime. Would that be okay? And she's looking at this. She's like, this fucking nerd ass nigga.
Get out of here, you damn nigga!
Right? So, even though he's handsome, you think she's gonna think that guy's a player? You think she's gonna think that handsome guy talking like that is really out here doing shit? Are we serious? Come on, man.
I'm trying to test those things out. She's like, why would I talk to you? Why would I be interested in you? What reason do I have to give you my time? Go ahead, show me. Right. So that even though he's right, they have to suss you out and see what else is there. The things they're looking for are different. She's looking for reasons to disqualify you versus for him, she's looking for reasons to qualify him.
That's if they interact with each other. She has to know the vibe between her and either man she's dealing with. See, again, guys who don't understand the game always think surface level, and this is why they're confused. You understand what I'm saying? This is why they're confused. Because that average dude, average looking guy, he might say something while he's beginning to converse with her that gets her attention. She's like, God damn, this motherfucker's bold. You understand? But let's continue.
Looking for reasons of why would I talk to this guy who I'm not attracted to? What else is it? Is he funny? Is he rich? Is he, really charismatic? Is he a leader? Is he going to teach me something? Like, what else is it? It's not that physical draw. The physical draw, as long as you don't mess it up, if you do have that physical draw, as long as you don't mess it up, it's going to transition into sexual. As long as you're not weird, you're not like.
So exactly. So he's saying, as long as you're not weird and all this other shit, but what the fuck does that have to do with you being handsome? You understand? Isn't that just understanding the game? Let's continue.
Creepy or like super boring or like, maybe it's going to be different triggers for different girls, different turnoffs for different girls. But as long as you're not her turnoff, it's going to lead into sex. Whereas with the average guy, he can't just be, he's not maintaining interest. He's trying to build interest with this girl. So that's the difference. When
there's no building interest. See, just because a woman thinks you're average looking does not mean that she's not highly sexually attracted to you. And just because a woman thinks you're handsome does not mean that she is highly sexually attracted to you. Let's continue.
Even though she also has to suss you out, the difference is the things that she's trying to suss out.
So what's the difference? I want to know, and guys, you can call up and let me, maybe I don't know something. Maybe I'm missing something. I want to know what's the difference between handsome man game and just game. I want to know what's the difference. Like, what is the difference when you're handsome versus you're not handsome? What do you need to do differently?
I'll add to it since he keeps asking the question. Another difference is the scope, right? This is a big one, the scope. So I talked about basically the interest level is different, right? That's what I've been explaining so far. But
interest level is not different. But let's continue.
Another one is the scope. So what do I mean by scope? If let's say two guys enter a workout class, right? The average guy enters a workout class and the attractive guy enters the handsome guy enters a workout class, right? And it's for this guy, he just enters a class and it's him and then there's like 5 girls, right? There's 5 girls in the class. And it's just those 6. And then this guy enters the class and there's 5 girls in his class and it's just those 6, right? So it's him and 5 girls and him and 5 girls. Now, when this average guy enters the workout class, he might have one of the girls be interested in him, right? So that means the other 4 don't care about what he does. He can't mess it up with them. They have no interest in him initially. He might have 1. He might have 0. More than likely, he'll have 0. And then as he's in the class, one of them might take a liking to him. But when he first shows up, they're gonna be like, whatever. But I'll give him one. I'll give him one girl that's interested in him. So when he enters the class and he's around the girls, he's trying to see, okay, which one of these girls likes me. And once he figures out that it's that girl, it's him and that girl because the other girls don't care. They don't care about what he does. Right. So he can go full force for the girl that he wants and they can do their thing and he can have complete focus on her. When you're a handsome guy, right? The handsome guy, now he gets into the class, 4 out of the 5 girls like him. There's one girl that doesn't like him. There's always one girl, right? But 4 out of the 5 girls, they are on him, right? Now they're on him at different degrees, right? So maybe girl number 1 is like head over heels as soon as she sees him. Girl over 2 feels the same way. But girl over 3, she's like, yeah, he's kind of cute, but let's see what he's talking about. Let's see who he is. Let's really see. And then the 4th girl might be like, I mean, if he did the right things, I would definitely talk to him if he did the right things, right? So 2 of them are super interested. One's curious and one's like open to it, right? Now, what that means is he has more to worry about. There's more going on in his world. There's more possibility that he could lose the interest of girls that are already interested in him. Because if he goes super hard for one, now the other girls are going to get jealous. Now they're going to, you know what I'm saying? They might get catty with each other. They might have an issue. They're going to start giving him the cold shoulder.
You know, guys, I'm being dead serious here. Sometimes this shit really make me sad. Like, no, I'm serious. Because even when I looked at the comments under his video, it really made me sad. This is why I had to do this immediately. I was like, I got to do this live stream immediately. So he's saying if they're in a situation where you have 2 different classes, one guy's the average guy, the other guy's the good-looking guy, or the handsome guy, whatever it is, and the average guy's in the class with the 5 girls, and then the handsome guy's in the class with the other 5 girls. 4 out of the 5 girls are going to like the handsome guy, and maybe 1 girl will like the average guy. Right? Now, what's ridiculous about that is that just because the women may think he's physically appealing, right, doesn't mean they're actually going to like him. That's 1. 2, just because he thinks he's handsome, that doesn't mean, and this is another thing that a lot of people don't think about, that does not mean that he is handsome to those women. See, let's break this down. Let's say you have a guy that looks like, let's say he looks like Chris Hemsworth or whatever, right? Now, how does Chris Hemsworth look? He's tall, muscles, white dude. And I think he has like blonde hair or something like that, right? So let's say that guy walks into that class and there's 5 women, right? And let's say 4 of those women don't like white guys. They're not attracted to white guys. They only like black men. That's it. You understand? Now, what difference does it make that he's this handsome guy? And check this out. They could still think he's a handsome guy, but they're not into him because he's white. You understand? So what the fuck difference does it make? So him being handsome doesn't mean anything in that scenario, because even though he's handsome, those women are not into his look. You understand? And then on the flip side, the guy that's the average guy, he's assuming only one of the women are going to be interested in him. Right? But what if he's in that class and he's talking to these women and interacting with these women, and all these women are interested in him because he's charismatic, right? That guy, even though he's saying he's average, to one of those women, he's the handsome guy. Or what happens is that he ends up, because remember he said he's going to get that one girl. Let's say he fucks the shit out that one girl. She tells the other 4 girls. You think the other 4 girls don't want no dick? See, this is why guys don't understand game. He said that the handsome guy, the other girls are going to get jealous and be feeling some type of way. But see, if you have game and you gave one of those girls dick and she told the other women, guess what's going to happen? The woman will try to pass you around to her friends so you can give the friends the good dick. You understand what I'm saying? You said he contradicted himself. He admitted earlier that he understood the difference between physical and sexual attraction, but just now he equated women believing you're attracted to them liking you. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is crazy. Let's continue. We almost done with it.
Like they care, right? So there's more of a nuance to the game when it comes to handsome men's game. In this situation, for example, he has to have more nuance because he has to decide, he has to gauge, right? They all like me, right? First thing first, which one do I like the most? Okay. Now, which one likes me the most? Okay. Do those match? They don't match. I actually like girl number 3 the most, but she's curious about me. Girl number 1 and 2 are going to give it up easy to me. And girl number 4 will be a little bit of a challenge, but she's down. She's open to it. Right. So now he has to know how to play the situation because he has something to lose. The average man rarely has anything to lose.
So he's already thinking in his head that the guy has something to lose, right? Because if he gets with this girl and the other girl's and he's thinking of all this shit. And then he's saying the average guy has nothing to lose because these girls not gonna want him anyway because he's average looking. Like, what the fuck? Like if you're average looking, bro, I'm sorry, man. You got to deal with the average man game. Don't fuck with this handsome man game shit. But let's continue.
He can go for broke. The handsome man often has other girls' interests that he can lose if he goes for a specific girl. So he has to decide who he wants to be with.
See, and this is why guys don't understand game. If you fuck with okay, let me tell you something. There was this woman that I messed with, right? And she had a twin sister. And I fucked the twin sister too. You understand what I'm saying? There was another woman that I was dealing with, right? Her friend, who was this super feminist, was against sucking dick, right? So the woman I was with told her friend to suck my dick. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you have game, it's not this, well, I got to pick who I got to pick. And then, because I don't want to pick her. And then she's going to feel this way about this. And then if I do what? No. If you have game, you could get this shit popping with all of them. But let's continue.
That's just one example, one specific example of how handsome men's game is different. And the thing is, like, if you haven't experienced that, you wouldn't know that. If that has not been your reality, if you don't go to places and multiple girls like you, and then you end up going for one, and then another girl gets jealous, or you like, I really should have went for this one. This one was giving me love, right? If that hasn't happened to you, you wouldn't even think to, like, this is why he's asking the question.
So wait, so that doesn't happen to the average looking guy? So the average looking guy doesn't ever have more than one woman who's interested in him? That just doesn't happen? Come on, man. Let's continue.
Like, he's not thinking about that. I don't know if he's doing it because he's just trying to make a point, so he's acting like he's not aware of the situation, or if he just hasn't had the experience, so he wouldn't know, right?
No, I'm talking about this because I have game. See, I don't have that experience because I don't sit there worrying about if this chick is going to worry about me fucking this other chick. I never was like, damn, should I fuck her? Because I don't want so-and-so to be jealous since I'm fucking her. Like, what are we talking about here? Now, remember, I told you guys I was gonna be glazing myself. So let me glaze myself a little bit more. Pause. But listen, let me show you guys this. See, this picture right here. Now again, I'm showing you guys this stuff because I got these situations because of the way I looked. So this is a show called I Love New York, which is on VH1, which is the highest rated cable show in history at the time. This is back in 2007. If you look at the top right, you see me in a black shirt and I'm next to the white dude with the that's standing up. So you see me over there. That's me in the show. I got on that show, right? Because I was on a date. You understand what I'm saying? I was on a date, and one of the producers of the show was walking by while I was on a park on a date. I was chilling with this chick, and this producer stopped me in mid-sentence while I'm hollering at a chick. I'm on the date with a chick with my arm around the chick on the bench. And this motherfucker walked by and stopped me and said, "Excuse me, I just need to say that you just have very striking features, and I produce and I do this, and we're doing this show, and would you be interested in participating and blah, blah, blah." Right? So I got on that show because that motherfucker thought I was handsome, right? So see this right here, this is I Love New York guys, what they look like today, right? So that's me at the bottom, the third row, all the way at the corner. They got me in this little picture right here. Right? This is me. This is the promo shot. See, it says Hashim Trent Smith, I Love New York. That was the promo shot in 2007 when they were promoting the show. I got that show because of the way I look. Check this out. Nigga is in the New York Times, motherfucker. Listen. You see that picture right there of me with the head wrap on in the New York fucking Times? Because of the way I look. Now, I'm telling you this, I'm glazing myself right now because I'm just trying to get you guys to understand that if anybody's going to talk about handsome man game, if that's even a fucking thing, but it's not, it would be me. Do you understand what I'm saying? It would be me. Now, let me show you guys something else real quick. Now, check this out. This is a screenshot, right, from this website where when the I Love New York show came out, they were, talking about the different people on the show. Now you can see a picture of me at the bottom, right? You see the two pictures of me at the bottom, but I'm gonna read some of what they said in there, right? So it says, I gave a preview of this guy, one post backward. Now it's time to really get to know trends. A contestant on I Love New York. Something about this dude I like. And note it, mind you, this is a woman writing this article. Right? So there's something about this guy, this dude that I like, and it took a lot of effort to say that, right? And she say that because the woman that writes the blog, she's kind of sassy with the shit she be talking about, right? So she says, from what I've seen and heard, he's a rap artist, a model for polo jeans, and a MySpace pimp. I'm not really a pimp. She just said that, right? Now, she said, I added the latter because you'd have to see to believe the number of beautiful women that have sent me messages praising this guy. Okay? Remember, I'm showing you this because in the video, Marv is like, well, he probably never went through that and blah, blah, blah. And when I'm looking at the comments of his video, people are like, Locario doesn't understand handsome man game and so forth and so on. Remember, I'm gonna read that shit again. I added the latter because you'd have to see to believe the number of beautiful women that have sent me messages praising this guy. Now, mind you, I didn't write this shit. You understand what I'm saying? They're talking about women who are sending her messages. And the funny part is the lady who was part of this blog too, it was a few women, DM me or email me or whatever the fuck it was at the time. I think it was on Facebook. She sent this to me. And she was like, oh, I've been getting so much, emails about you. And I've been getting so much, they've been talking about you. And again, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of guys make these handsome man game videos. I'm showing you in real life, right? I've modeled. They paid me to be handsome. I was on reality shows because of the way I look, right? I have articles written about me. And the reason why I'm in those articles is because I got hired because of the way I look. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that if anyone's going to talk about handsome man game, it would be me. And I'm telling you, handsome man game is bullshit. You know why? Because I have to do the same thing as every other motherfucker. Okay, do I have sometimes women will match with me on dating apps and tell me I'm handsome and all this other shit? Absolutely. Does that mean I'm fucking all of them? No. Do I have women sometimes that go out to spots and women check me out? Right? Does that mean I'm fucking all of them? No. I still got to approach them just like every other guy. I still got to talk just like every other guy. I still got to play the numbers game just like every other guy. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you might be saying, man, Locario's ugly as fuck. What is he talking about? That's some bullshit and all this other stuff. Cool. Guess what? Looks are subjective. So if looks are subjective, then any motherfucker could be handsome. So shouldn't we all be playing handsome man game since anybody could be handsome since looks are subjective? Right? Now, in the video, I said, listen, how many times have people told you you're handsome? Are people really saying this or you're just saying this to yourself? Right? But check this out. You could, if you wanted to, put in enough work and enough time to find women who will tell you you're fucking handsome. You understand? Now, are there going to be guys who are going to get more compliments than others? Absolutely. Are there going to be guys that women will say are, more handsome than others, or they would consider you conventionally handsome based on societal standards, whatever society you're in? Absolutely. What I'm trying to tell you is you still got to fucking put in work. But let's continue.
But a lot of guys have not had that experience, so you wouldn't even think about that. That wouldn't cross your mind. This is why there has to be a separate type of game, because there are different types of experiences. It's a different world when you show up and like all the girls are all.
So wait, so you're saying there needs to be a separate type of game because there's different types of experiences. So do we need celebrity man game? Or do celebrities just need game? Does Will Smith need celebrity man game because of his issues with Jada Pinkett, or does he just need game? Does Johnny Depp need celebrity man game, or does he just need game? Are the issues that Johnny Depp and Will Smith, are the issues they had with women based on them being a celebrity, or is it based on them not having game? Right? Do we need that though? Do we need celebrity man game so Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby can't be in the situations they're in, or do they just need to learn some fucking game? You see how ridiculous this shit sounds? You see what I'm saying? This shit is ridiculous. Well, when you're a celebrity man, you're going to have women that, come up to you. And so, if you're not getting these girls, maybe Chris Brown needs celebrity man game. No, you know what? Drake needs celebrity man game because Drake wanted Rihanna and he wasn't able to get Rihanna. So Drake needs celebrity man game to figure this out. You see what I'm saying? Again, like I said earlier, if Deontay Wilder is fighting, does he need black man boxing game, or does he need to learn the game of boxing? If Shaq can't shoot free throws, does he need tall man basketball game, or does he need to learn the game of basketball? If Jake Paul is boxing, does he need YouTube influencer boxing game? Or does he need to learn the game of boxing? You see what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? This is what I'm saying, but let's continue.
All over you immediately. You didn't have to really build any interest. You didn't really have to like do a lot. But now you're like, okay, I don't really know them, so I don't know who to choose. So you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just different situations that a handsome guy, consistently a handsome guy, right? He's handsome in multiple arenas. You know what I'm saying? A guy might be handsome around this type of woman or with this situation, but if you go around and like girls typically think you're handsome, different races, different social classes, different, you know what I'm saying? And there's more to it because you're dealing with way more women. You can't just go for broke like that. So that's, like I said, another difference between average man's game and handsome man's game. It's the scope. So it's the interest level, it's the scope, and it's the attention that you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Like in that situation, the girls are paying attention to what is he doing? Oh, he's talking to her today? Whatever. I don't want to talk to him.
So you think a woman don't want to talk to you because you're talking to another woman? Are you serious? This is what I'm saying. What are we talking about here? Come on.
Oh, he's talking to me today? Okay. But he was talking to her yesterday. Is he just a flirt? Is he just a player? Is he just, you know what I'm saying? Like they're wondering these things. Whereas when the average guy talks to the girls who don't like him, they're like, oh, he's so sweet. He's so nice. Wow, he's just really social. You get what I'm saying? Like it's two different reactions that you're going to get. Two different reactions between the average guy and the handsome guy. And that's the difference.
You understand? What are the different things that need to happen? Because see, it's not really anything that needs to be different. It's more so, like I said earlier, if you understand how women perceive you, then you know how to move better in situations to make things happen.
So he basically just said, there's no difference, right? So it's not about a handsome man's game. It's about knowing how your situation is so that you know how to move better, right? Another word for better in that sentence could be different, so that you know how to move differently to get better results, right? That's the full sentence. He used the word better instead of different, but really it's how do you move differently in order to get better results? Because what's objectively a better move, right? It's just like it's a different move because the situation calls for a different thing for you to reach the result. And that is the difference. That is the difference between average man's game and handsome man's game. You have to do different things. If this
No. What you guys are not understanding is this, right? So I'll give you an example, right? So women, right, perceive me, for example, as a super player, right? Now, the reason why they perceive me as a super player is because they're very in tune when I interact with them and they realize, okay, yeah, I can see and I can tell he's that guy because they've dealt with other super players. Right now, when I'm talking about you understanding how women perceive you, I'm talking about how they perceive you as that particular individual. See, what he's talking about is he's looking at surface level shit, meaning how they perceive you based on how you look. But the women perceiving you based on how you look is surface level and only makes a difference, or I should say only is important, right? In the fact that they're looking at you. Once they actually get a taste of you, meaning they get an experience with you, then that's when they're going to actually have the perception. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say is this, is that the reason why women perceive me as a player is because they get to experience me. The experience gives them the perception. Now, they might have saw me, right? And thought, oh, he looks like a player, but then it's confirmed when they're experiencing me, right? Now, a woman could look at you and think, oh, he's handsome. He must have a lot of girls, right? He must be a player. He must do this or whatever, right? Now, when that woman experiences that guy, meaning they're having a conversation or having an interaction, then her perception can switch if this motherfucker is not confident, if you don't know how to have a conversation, his mouthpiece sucks, all these other different things. So he thinks that perception that the woman has of you is just solely based on the looks and how handsome she thinks you are, and that's where it stays. No, the perception changes based on the experience she has.
Consistently happens to you, and this is most likely your situation, then you're going to do things more often this way. And if this guy's experience is like this more often, then he's going to often do things this way, which are two different ways of doing things. Average man's game and handsome man's game.
You also understand why certain things are happening. Hold on one second. It said, Locario, I heard from a YouTuber, you may know that you paid that woman to write the article. Is it true? Oh my God. Listen, yes, it's all true. I paid her. I was never on TV. I never modeled for Polo jeans. I photoshopped all of it. Like, see, let me show you this picture of me and David Lauren. I photoshopped it. I photoshopped this picture of me, modeling for Polo jeans. And when they were on the billboards in, Times Square and in Canada and all of that, that was all fake. That was part of your imagination. Also, I photoshopped myself into this picture right here. That's not really me. I made this on my own when I had time. This picture is just a high school picture, and I put little captions at the bottom. This thing of the New York Times is all Photoshop. This is not real. And finally, this thing right here, I paid them $20 million to write this stuff. So yes, you're absolutely right. But let's continue. Right? And so what I mean by, how women perceive you, think about, are women consistently telling you you're handsome? Has more than 10 women in your entire life said that you was handsome? Take away your mom. I'm not talking about your mom. I'm not talking about the prostitute in Brazil that was trying to get your money. I'm not talking about her. She told you you was handsome because she was trying to get that paper. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about women who genuinely are physically attracted to you, and in some cases sexually attracted to you. How many times has that happened in your life where women have told you you were handsome? So if it happened less than, let's say, 10 times in your entire life, right? That means that generally women don't really perceive you as handsome, because if women perceive you as handsome, that means that women have been telling you are handsome on a consistent basis. You've had it happen a number of times so that you understand that's how women will generally perceive you. You see what I'm saying? So that.
Right. 1,000. I couldn't agree with a person more. That was a bar. That was a beautiful statement, right? Because that's absolutely true. I don't know.
See, now, again, when I was talking about that was me just talking surface level to the guys who gravitate to handsome man game. I was saying, do women perceive you as handsome in general for you to even gravitate to handsome man game? You see what I'm saying? But when we go deeper, this is why I say handsome man game is nonsense, because you're playing the game just like everyone else, whether you're handsome or not. You understand what I'm saying? Kids, I said they have to deny the facts you gave them, the realest receipts on YouTube ever. They can't acknowledge that, because to acknowledge that is to admit you were right. Exactly. Bro. K-Zaggin, you're absolutely right, because this is the thing. This is the difference between YouTube, internet shit, and real fucking life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because see, on the internet, if you don't have a jawline and you're not 6 feet and have a six pack, women don't think you're attractive. Women don't think you're sexy. So they look at me and they're like, what are you talking about? How is Locario, good looking? How do these girls like Locario? I don't get it. He's dark skinned. He's a blackety black guy. He's not even 6 feet. I think he's like 5'7". I'm really 5'11", but they're like, he's like 5'7", and he's fat. He's out of shape. I'm not fat. I'm not out of shape. And I don't understand this, man. It just doesn't make sense. But see, this is what I keep trying to tell you, motherfuckers, is that you cannot judge men. Women judge men on if they think the guy is attractive or not. It doesn't matter if you're looking at me and you're like, well, I don't think Locario's cute. Nigga, you ain't supposed to think I'm cute. You're a man. Fuck is you doing? But let me tell you guys something. See, I am super, okay, I'll say this. And again, I apologize for glazing myself, but I'm gonna tell you the secret. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. This is gonna break your brain. This is gonna break your fucking brains. But pay attention. You're not gonna believe what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This is gonna break your brain. Now, the shit that I showed you on here isn't everything. Like, I've been on multiple other television shows. I've been on fucking Tyra Banks show. I've been on Anderson Cooper's show. I've been on a bunch of things, right? And I've modeled for different companies. I've done all this stuff. Now, let me tell you guys this secret. as to why. The secret is that I think, believe, and know that I'm fucking awesome. That is it. I think I'm so fucking fly. I think I'm so handsome. I think I'm so sexy. And I carry myself as such. And understand, me saying this, there's no words that it can express how fly I think I am. See, bro, I said this in one of my verses on the Locario tape volume 3. You understand what I'm saying? I said, what was the line? I said, I love me, my hobbies to look in the mirror and stare. I'm dead serious. I told you when I was in 7th grade, I think 7th, 8th grade, my teacher, we had like these big ass lockers in the classroom. And it was like the teacher locker. She put a magnet mirror on the teacher's locker. And above the joint, it said Hashim's mirror. She wrote Hashim's mirror. Why? Because I was always staring in the mirror. In 7th grade. You understand what I'm saying? They would actually laugh at that shit. Because like I would always stare at the mirror. And then one day I came in, the shit said Hashim's mirror on the top of the mirror. Like she put a tape, like those brown tape, and then wrote Hashim's mirror. My dad would take me places in his car. Like we would go out to spots, and my dad would go somewhere. So for example, he would drive to this donut shop that I like. So we go to the donut shop, and he parked the car, and he'd get out the car. He's like, "You're not coming out the car?" And I say, "Nah, I'm gonna chill in here." The reason why I was chilling in the car, because I wanted to stare at myself in the rearview mirror. You understand what I'm saying? I'm fucking conceited. You understand? Like, I act like I'm humble, but when I walk into the room, I think everyone's eyes are on me. And then guess what happens? I start seeing women's eyes on me. You understand? And I'm not joking. I'm literally not joking. This is how I think. This is how I see myself. I'm so fucking in love with myself. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so that feeling I have for myself, that's what gravitates people towards me and treat me as such. You understand what I'm saying? Like, bro, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I got this campaign right here. Let me tell you something. This campaign right here for Polo Ralph Lauren, I got this on accident. You understand? This thing on Isle of New York, I got this on accident. I did 2 other reality shows. I got those on accident. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is that your thoughts are going to shape your fucking reality. You understand? That's why when I got on the internet and I seen all these guys talking all this goofy shit and being so insecure about themselves, and I'm just like, God damn, like, what is wrong with these niggas? Listen, check this out. If you notice, I want you guys to check this out, because so that you understand where I'm coming from. The love I have for myself, I emanate that through interacting with other people. Watch the video that I just posted up with me and Steven Mystery, right? The pickup artist. Watch that clip. At the end of the clip, I tell Mystery, I said, Mystery, I was like, bro, he was like, oh, I got to do magic and do all this shit because, he was like, look at me, I'm not special. And I said to Mystery, I said, Mystery, you are special without the magic. I'm trying to big him up. I'm trying to lift him up. Watch the video with me and Redbeard when I had the debate with Redbeard on Fresh's channel. Watch the video. There's a portion of the video where I'm telling Redbeard, I said, bro, why do you talk about yourself like you're less? You understand? The people I'm debating with, I'm trying to lift them up in the debate. Why? Because I see myself as valuable, so I see the value in other motherfuckers. That's why I be trying to do this shit. I don't like to hear niggas say, oh, well, I can't do this, and oh, this is fucked up, and oh, it's because of this, and it's because I'm short, and it's because I'm ugly, oh, and now it's because I'm handsome. It's because I'm handsome that this is happening, and that, come on, man. But let's continue.
Where he got the number 10 from, that's a random number. Depending on your age, that could even be a bit low of a number, but yeah, you should be getting told that you're handsome. Like I said earlier in the video, you can't just make it up. It has to be your experiences. And if you are of a reasonable age, like if you're 15, 16, it might not happen because little girls are, you know, they might call you ugly if they think you're, you know what I'm saying? Like little girls play games, right? But once you're past like 21, 22, you should have had situations where women are telling you you're handsome. You've been on a dating app, women would have told you, oh, wow, you're fine. But whatever it is, like you'll get stuff like that if you're handsome. And it would have happened more than 10 times. Depending on the exposure, you know what I'm saying, of the girls you get. But it, like he said, 10 is the like bare minimum, I would say. Right, like 10, like you said, like if you had less than 10 girls in your life call you handsome, you're probably not handsome. You can explain away 5 or 6 of those, like it was situational. She felt the pressure to say this, she just, you know what I'm saying. There's probably an explanation for it, but like,
see, and this is what I'm talking about. This is stupid shit I'm talking about. He said, but how come Locario, a couple of black pillars, put you on a 3 scale regarding looks? You see what I'm saying? Do you guys see the stupidness? Do you see the nonsense? This is why you guys need to make sure that you are not living your entire fucking life on the internet. This is sickness. This is a sickness. So a bunch of dudes who don't get no ass are looking at other men and worried about their looks. This is what shit's come to. This is what it's come to. But let's continue. Let's continue.
More than 10, I'd say more than 15, depending on your age, more than 20, depending on your age, like 10 times a year, like depending on how often you go out, how often you're around women, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he's absolutely right. You have to have had that. That's a key part of you looking and you know, using handsome man's game is that you've had experiences that require handsome man's game, because being called handsome by a girl, it would require you to then use handsome man's game, because you're not doing the same thing that the average guy is doing, which is I'm trying to get her to show her interest in me. I'm trying to get her to, you know, to be.
Bro, just because a woman says you're handsome does not mean she's interested in you. See, he keeps going back to, well, if she says you're handsome, that's her showing interest in you. That's not showing her showing it. She's saying you're handsome. Her telling you you're handsome does not mean that she is interested in you. Let's continue.
Be interested in me, like actually, if she comes up to you and tells you, oh, wow, you're so handsome. From there, that's a completely, like, there's so much of average man's game that is designed to get to that point, right? And once you get to that point, you've created some type of connection. She feels another certain way about you. She's looking beyond the looks, right? She's looking at, oh, he has this quality, he has this. But when you just start there and there's no connection there, it just starts at that point where she's already interested. Now you have other work to do. And
she's not interested just because you're handsome.
That's where handsome man's game comes in. You haven't worked to get to that point, which is the average man's game. And then the point, like I said, the point that he's at, he already has a certain connection because he's done something to build the interest. So there's already a comfort level there now. By the time she's telling him, there's a comfort level there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just different. She might be fully interested in you, but uncomfortable being around you. That's not gonna happen with an average man. There's no average man who a girl is uncomfortable with, but interested in.
Wait, he says she's gonna be interested in you, but uncomfortable around you because you're handsome? No, it's not happening. A woman is not uncomfortable around you just because you're handsome. Let's stop the nonsense. Let's stop it, but let's continue.
Because he had to build the interest. And in building the interest, she's going to be comfortable with him. And she's probably not uncomfortable with him from the beginning because he's not intimidating looks-wise. So it's just different scenarios, a different situation.
The looks aren't what make you intimidating. What makes you intimidating, like I said earlier, is the experience she has, right? Coupled with the looks that makes her have that perception. The only way you're going to be intimidating through your looks is by her imagination based on what she's thinking, based on how you look. But once you start talking, which you always have to do anyway, right? The reality is going to set in. So so check this out. If you're going to talk to a girl and you're a handsome guy and she thinks you're handsome or whatever, and she thinks you're a cool guy, a nice guy, she's not going to be intimidated by you. The intimidation happens when she sees you as a player who might break her heart. She sees you as a guy who's going to, probably have a bunch of women and cheat on her, so forth and so on. But that only happens if she sees you as the type of guy who has that type of game. But you having that type of game is not correlated to you being handsome. You understand? A woman could be intimidated with an average looking guy who has tight game. Well, let's continue.
It's different. I promise you, it is a different thing.
That's the first thing you got to understand. Do women perceive me as handsome? You understand? I don't care what the fuck these niggas on YouTube say, where you sending in your pictures to these guys trying to give you looks maxing advice and rating your face and shit. I don't care how many males on YouTube rate your face. I don't give a fuck. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care how many ratings you send to these niggas. Do women perceive you as handsome? You understand what I'm saying? When's the last time a woman said you was fine?
Facts. What he's saying right here is facts. Facts. I could not agree more. Like I said, like this little portion of the video, he's going off. He's giving that game, right? What do the women say? It don't matter if you send in a rating and one of these YouTube guys tells you you're an 8.7, man. Go out there and start. Like your life didn't change from the time that he told you were 8.7, like from before to after that. Your life didn't change. Nothing changed. You were the same person. If your experiences were not good after he tells you you're 8.7, your experiences are still not going to be good. It's a waste of time. It's a waste. It don't matter what your male friends say. It don't matter about none of that. What do women show interest in you, sexual interest in you? Even your female friends, it doesn't really matter what they say because they might just be nice. They might just be being nice. They might tell you are so handsome.
We don't do no female friends over here, but listen.
But they don't want to sleep with you. They're not trying to kiss you.
So now the reason why I'm going through this whole thing, because we're almost going to be done, but I'm trying to go through this whole thing because there's certain things he says at the end that will show you guys that when you have a lack of understanding the game, that's what causes you to have this handsome man game thought. But let's continue.
They're not trying to touch up on you. You ask them out, like, no, there's somebody out there for you. You're so handsome. You're not handsome. That's not how it goes. If you, this is why I say the friend zone with a handsome man is not really the friend zone. It's just if there's a friend zone, you're putting her in the friend zone. You're not trying to be with her, because if you're handsome and y'all really cool, like you're not gonna be attractive physically, connect, and nothing happens unless you decide I'm not gonna do anything. She might not jump and make the move, but she gonna make it clear that like she gonna put y'all in a situation. You're gonna be at her house late at night. It's just y'all. Things, you know what I'm saying? She gonna put you in situations where if you wanted to, you could do something.
Why does he keep saying she's gonna put you in situations? Men with game are never put in situations with women. Men with game create the situations and we put women in them. But let's see you.
And she'll give you hints and she'll talk about her, she'll talk about herself in a sexual way. She'll do things that let you know like she's down. But it's up to you whether you want to make the move or not. And that's how you friend zone a girl, right? But that's only gonna happen to the guy that's physically attractive. She's not gonna like you make the move. She's like, no, but you're great for somebody else. Like that's not gonna happen.
See, he keeps going with this like, simplistic, oh, well, you're this good looking, handsome guy. She's going to want you. You may not want her, and you can put her in the friend zone. Then the average guy, she's going to say, oh, you're sweet. You'll be cool for somebody else and all that. Like he almost is kind of like a black pill type of guy. I don't like to, talk about the pills like that, but he has sort of like that black pill energy with the stuff he's saying. But let's continue.
Right. So your female friends take what they say with a grain of salt. Like he said, the niggas don't even listen to what they're saying. Don't listen to what the niggas are saying because they don't know. They can't. You're not interested in them. So what their palate is looking for, that's not. You don't care about that. So what he's saying here is bars. This is bars. When's the last time she told you she was fine? When's the last time she told you he was fine? Like what? He's a funny dude. This is entertaining.
When's the last time a woman said you was gorgeous? And I'm talking about like women you just met, women you just slept with for the first time, women you just matched with on a dating app. How many times have they told you was fine, you handsome, you're gorgeous? How many times?
If you ain't got no stories, it's not looking good, right? You ain't got no stories where a girl came up to you and was like, oh, you're gorgeous, or they did something sexual with you.
See, and the funny part is that he's going more into talking about handsome man game through what I'm saying in this part. But what I'm saying in this part really is just to emphasize that there's a lot of guys who gravitate to handsome man game, but their life doesn't dictate that women perceive them as handsome, just, you know, in general. Listen, Ziddy.
Off the rip without you really trying, you know what I'm saying? Like if they wasn't calling you fine, if they're not like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying, looking you up and down, scrunching their face up, if they're not doing any of that, every woman is not intimidated by you, right? So I'm standing with him on that. Every woman is not intimidated by you. If you don't have these experiences, you don't need to be worried about handsome man's game. But there are guys, I've spoken to them personally, who have these experiences, but they just don't know how to transition that into results with women.
Yeah, that just means they don't have game. It has nothing to do with them being handsome. You know what I'm saying? They just don't have game. It's really that simple. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's like let's say you have a woman who's a beautiful woman, but she has a fucking attitude, right? And she doesn't understand, like, oh, these guys are just such assholes, and you know, they just want me for sex and blah blah blah. And it's like, no, it's not that these guys are assholes. It's not that they just want you for sex. It's just that you got a fucking attitude and nobody wants to be around you. You understand what I'm saying? And so the thing is that she has no game, which is why she's not able to keep a man around. These guys have no game, which is why they're not able to really attract women. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to me.
If you are that guy, you need to learn handsome man's game. You absolutely do. All right, now this video is long. It's long as hell. It's like 2 hours long, so I'm not gonna do the whole thing. But I'm gonna skip to the part where he uses my video as an example. Kind of
we're winding down. We're gonna get to the end of this, and then we're gonna wrap this shit up.
go through what he's saying here.
And so I was like, let me bring up one of these videos and we'll critique it. Let me bring this up. So this is by a YouTuber named Marv Over Matter.
Mind over matter.
And again, this is, remember, when I do these are not to disparage any of these guys. This is not to make fun of any of these guys. This is to get you guys to understand the game, right? So this is for educational purposes, right? So he has this video, and the video is titled Handsome Men's Game, The Fundamentals. Now, so he's not the only guy that, you know, does these types of videos. There's a lot of guys on YouTube who have a lot of these handsome man game videos. You understand what I'm saying? But let's start this. We're gonna go into this and we're gonna see what he's saying, and we're gonna break down all the things. So let's go.
Yeah, when you're handsome, you're on an equal playing field with the woman because she has something you want. She's attractive. You have something she wants. You're attractive. It's only when you're in the position.
Yo, exactly. So you don't have to make fun of him. I'll take care of that. Hey guys, we have two free calls. So if you guys want to call up, we got 2 free calls. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna get this shit cracking. Woo. Okay, let's continue. Here we go.
Where they don't find you attractive, that's when you have to do more to get them because they have the position of power. But you can't approach the game like that if you're handsome. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Marv Over Matter back with another video. And today what I'm going to talk about is handsome man's game, the fundamentals. Handsome man's game, the fundamentals, man. So my second video is handsome man's game, right? I hit all the points of what you need to do as a handsome man. I think there was like 4 points that I hit where I just talk about like the fundamentals, the things that separate handsome man's game from average man's game.
Again, there is no handsome man game. There's no average man game. There's no below average man game. There's no black man game, white man game, tall man game. All right, so now listen to what he says at this part. This part is gonna show you why when you don't understand the game, you get confused and then you subscribe to things like handsome man game. You feel what I'm saying? But let's continue. Short man game, bus driver game, doctor game, teacher game. Let's continue.
Because it's different. It's not the same thing. You can't do the same things. If you do the same things, you're not. He's saying there's no difference, right? And he's using all these examples, but let's play along with it, right? There is a difference. If you're a bus driver and you're a professor in college, your game is going to be different because you're
listen to what he's about to say right here.
You're in a different situation. As a bus driver, you can give a girl a free fare, right? You can talk to her every day because you're going to see her on her route to work, right? So you'll have a different relationship. You'll have a different type of situation. As a professor, you're not supposed to be doing this, but you can, have her be your assistant, or you can have her, do extra credit, or you can, alter her grades, go easy on her, like whatever it is, help her with her studying. Like you have a different scenario in a different situation. So the game is different. The game is different. Now, these are very specific situations. So it's not worth calling it bus driver game or teacher game. But
wait. Hold on. So let me hit the button. So I'm making fun of this shit where I'm saying, dudes talking about handsome man game, talking about like what a black man game, white man game, bus driver game, professor game, and all this other nonsense. So now he's saying, well, if you're a bus driver and you're a professor, you can't go do the same thing when it comes to women. Because if you're a bus driver, you can give her free rides. And if you're a professor, you can have her do extra credit. And it's like, bro, when we talk about game, right? It's not about what you're doing. It's about who you are. So who you are, right, is based, or I should say, how you're interacting with women is based on who you are, which means she's following your lead based on who you are, not what you do. You understand what I'm saying? So he's like, well, if you're a bus driver, you can do this and do that with her. And if you're a professor, you can do this and do that with her. Right? So when we're talking about individuals, right, and them understanding their masculine identity and they're dealing with women, right? There's not this different thing that you're doing based on, well, I'm a professor, so I'm going to do this, and I'm a bus driver, so I'm going to do this. That has nothing to do with you dealing with women, you attracting women sexually, you knowing how to flirt, you knowing how to fuck. That has nothing to do with this. And then he says, well, it doesn't make any sense to talk about professor man game or bus driver game, but then why does it make sense to talk about handsome man game? So if it doesn't make sense to talk about bus driver game, and you're saying you got to do something different as a bus driver, and then you're talking about you got to do something different as a professor, right? Isn't it the same thing as saying you got to do something different as a handsome man? You see what I'm saying? So if we're not going to talk about handsome man game or bus driver, we're not going to talk about bus driver game or a professor game, why are we talking about handsome man game? How is that different? You're separating all these things. We could keep going. We could talk about trash man game. We could talk about entrepreneur game. We could talk about video game. Guys who play video game. We could talk about YouTuber game. We could talk about TikTok game. TikTok man game. We could talk about backwards hat man game. We could talk about Nike shoe wearing game. You understand what I'm saying? Sock game, underwear man game, right? White boy game, black boy game, Asian boy game. Like there's so many fucking things, right? So we're going to just break up all these different things, all these different facets of the situation. Husband game, boyfriend game. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what are we saying? What are we really saying here? Let's continue.
But with handsome man's game and average man's game, it's a consistent situation amongst a lot of different people. There's a lot of different guys in different jobs, in different places, in different times, right? That have similar experiences. So it's warrants another name because it's unique, but not so specific, right? So these guys are going to have, on a consistent basis across a bunch of different people, going to have a similar experience, and an enormous amount of people, right? A way larger amount of people are going to have this other experience. And that's why it's just game. That's just game because it's way more general. So it's just the average person. Nobody calls it average man's game, right? It's just game because it's average. So most people.
So if you're an average guy, then it's just game. But if you're a handsome man, then it's handsome man game. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So Shaq isn't a basketball player. He's a tall man basketball player playing game. You understand? Deontay Wilder is not a boxer. He's doing the black man one punch knockout boxing game. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about?
People are experiencing it, so it doesn't need a name. But something that's niche, like girls coming up to you, something that doesn't happen to everybody, there has to be a way to separate it.
A woman coming up to you don't mean shit, because you still have to give her instruction to see if she's actually interested in you. You have to tell her what to do to see if she's going to cooperate. Do you understand? So her coming up to you don't mean shit. A woman looking at you and thinking you're handsome don't mean shit, because you still need to have a conversation with her to see if the situation's real and is going to go somewhere. You see what I'm saying? So because these things don't mean shit, that means there is no handsome man game. Because whatever is going on in the situation, you still need game in order to get what you want on your terms. Let's continue.
So it's handsome as game.
Not gonna get the results, and you're gonna be wondering like, why? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it that I can't? It's working for this guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not gonna be getting the girls maybe that you want, but he's getting the girls that he wants. You know what I'm saying? Why can't you get the girls that you want? What's going on? It's because there's a different game for handsome guys. It's different criteria.
There's not a different game for handsome guys. It's not. You understand what I'm saying? It's not. But let's continue. Let's continue.
It's just it's a different landscape. So one of the main things that you need to know as a handsome guy, if you're dating women and you're going after, and not going after, if you want women, is that you're already in a position of power. You already have something that she wants.
Okay, I don't hear this button a lot. So what he's essentially saying is you're in a position of power because she thinks you're handsome. So because she thinks you're handsome, you have something she wants. You understand what I'm saying? No. See, the thing that a lot of these guys don't understand, right, is that when it comes to this, when women thinking you're handsome, right, they're physically attracted to you. It is not hard for a woman to get access to a physically attractive man. You understand? Women have physically attractive men in their DMs all the time. You understand what I'm saying? You being a handsome dude, there's nothing special about that for women. You understand what I'm saying? Like, nothing. Now, would she rather be with a guy who she is sexually attracted to because she's physically attracted to him versus somebody else that she's not sexually attracted to because she's not physically attracted to him? Of course. Would she rather be with a guy or talk to a guy who she's physically attracted to, right? Versus talking to a guy who she's not physically attracted to and he has no game? Of course. Right? But what you guys got to understand is that a woman interacting with a guy who she would consider handsome is nothing special, right? Because she has access. It's like, okay, it's like this. Think about this, right? If I'm, if you're looking for a house to purchase, and I'm a realtor and I take you around and I show you 8 different houses, right?
All right. The analogy doesn't really matter.
No, the analogy actually does matter, and I'm going to tell you what it is, but let's see what he's going to say first.
So he basically said, okay, being handsome is not special, but would a woman rather be with somebody handsome? Yes, right? That's essentially what that whole little rant was. It was a contradiction. He said being handsome is not special, but she would rather be with somebody that's handsome. Okay. Now I'll get to give him some fair.
That's not a contradiction. So a woman would rather be with someone that she thinks is more handsome than this other guy, right? But it's not a contradiction because that still doesn't make you special. Why? Because there's a lot of handsome guys. You understand? So that does not make you special because you're handsome, because there's so many other handsome guys that she can get with. What I'm saying is that in a particular situation, if she's talking to a guy that's handsome and he's on point, he has game, he has all this shit going for him, and then you have another guy who she thinks is less attractive physically, right? And he has all this other stuff going on. She's saying, okay, cool. Well, I have 2 guys here. And if I have to choose one, I'll choose the one I think that's more handsome because, hey, he has this over this guy, right? But that does not make you special because you're handsome. You understand? So what I'm saying is that in that scenario, she may choose this guy over that guy if she had to choose one. See, the thing is that women will choose both guys in most cases, right? She'll choose the handsome guy and she'll choose the average guy if the average guy is also on point. You understand what I'm saying? But again, these guys think being handsome makes them special, which is why they love this whole handsome man game nonsense. Listen to you.
And he said she has access to a lot of different handsome men. So maybe he's saying you have to compete with more handsome men. Maybe that's what he's saying. But still, all those handsome men will be separated from the mass majority of men who are not considered handsome by that woman.
No, they're not. They're not going to be separated because just because a woman thinks a guy's handsome doesn't mean that she won't get with a guy who's average. See, this was think about this. I'm sure all of you watching would fuck a girl you consider a dime, but you would also fuck a girl you consider a 6. Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's a difference. Now, I'm going to disprove what he said about it not being special because earlier in the video, he himself said, a woman may be intimidated by you because you're handsome. So if being around and having, interactions with a handsome man and talking to handsome men is absolutely means nothing to women, it's like, yeah, whatever, like I do this every day. He's completely disregarding the women who are intimidated by you because
again, like I said, see, this is why it's good to do videos like this because a lot of times, and see, this is why it's This is why you guys need to get coaching. This is why you guys need to understand a game, because when you don't understand a game, you take things you hear and you're very surface level with it. Like I said earlier, a woman being intimidated by you because you're handsome, and that's all she just sees you handsome from across the room, right? And she's checking you out. The only reason she would be intimidated by that is because you being handsome and you having that look may remind her of a situation she was in with another handsome guy where something happened, right? Because she hasn't talked to you, she hasn't interacted with you. So the only thing she's going off is the way you look. Now, what happens is that at some point, you and this woman are going to have to talk. And if you are a guy who doesn't know how to have a conversation, if you're a guy whose game is weak, if you're a guy who's a goofy, it's not going to matter that you're handsome, because she's not going to be intimidated by you. You understand what I'm saying? See, women are intimidated by handsome men who have game. And if you have to look up or watch handsome man game videos, what does that say? That says that you don't have game, because you're a handsome man trying to figure it out with handsome man game. Because if you had game and you're a handsome man, you wouldn't need handsome man game, right? Right. You see what I'm saying? So what women are you intimidating with your handsomeness if you can attract women with you being this handsome guy and you need handsome man game? You're not intimidating. You understand what I'm saying? You're not intimidating. Because see, guys know when they are intimidating women. And I'll say this. You can only be intimidating to women if you are attracting women. I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna say that for the people in the back. You can only intimidate women if you are a guy who's actually getting women. You're a guy who's actually attractive, meaning, and when I say attractive, meaning that you attract women. And the reason why you're intimidating is because they can tell based on how they're interacting with you, this motherfucker gets bitches. So he's intimidating because he gets bitches, right? But if you don't get no bitches, she ain't gonna be intimidated by you just because you handsome. Because if you was getting bitches, you wouldn't need handsome man game. Right? Right. But let's finish this off.
You're handsome, right? If they're intimidated by you, that means there's some sort of reverence. Maybe is the word reverence. There's a reaction, there's a response that she's having to you specifically because she thinks you're handsome, you're so attractive, right? So in that, there's an interest, there's attention, there's an awareness of you that she doesn't have of all these other guys who are in this scenario. Now, it may be you in this scenario and another handsome guy in a different scenario, but you're only worried about your scenario. You're not worried about the other scenario, right? You're worried about the situation that you guys are in. So in your situation, you have power, like I said, because if she would be intimidated by you, that means she has extreme interest and she's uncomfortable. And she's uncomfortable because she feels like maybe you're better than her, maybe, whatever the reason is.
Again, also what happens is you don't see, you only have power through intimidation, right? Because you are a guy who knows how to attract women. So you know how to deal with the intimidation part of the situation. But she's only intimidated by you because you get bitches. But if you don't get bitches, she ain't gonna be intimidated by you. So just because you're handsome, she's not gonna be intimidated by you because you're the type of handsome guy who don't get no women. Which is why you gotta learn your handsome man game. But let's continue.
But that's a sense of power. There's a power dynamic there, right? There's a power imbalance there. Because if she didn't feel that, she wouldn't be intimidated. Now, are there girls who are not intimidated? Yeah, for sure. That's true too, right? So he's telling the truth, but he's using it as it fits his point, right?
No, I'm telling you the truth, but when you don't have game, you don't get the point. This is why I have to break it down more. You see what I'm saying? Like, again, I said, you guys don't know how deep this game goes. See, when you think surface level, that's why you're confused. Because remember, he said, these guys, they're handsome and they're just confused as to why they're not getting women. So they come across a handsome man game video, and that's why they wanted to watch these videos. And what I'm telling you guys is, it's not that they need handsome man game. They need to learn fucking game. Let's continue.
He ignores one truth and brings up another truth to prove this point, and then he ignores this truth and brings up this truth to prove this point.
No, you just don't understand the point. See, how can, from his level of understanding, how can he understand what's actually being said when he's only going based off his level of understanding? Remember, he's talking about, well, if you go in a room with like 5 girls, then you mess with this girl, then the other girl's not going to like you, or she's going to act some type of way. He's saying, well, if a guy is, handsome, then he's just going to be intimidated off rip because he's handsome, and then that's going to make the girl not want to fuck with him. He's saying, listen, you need a handsome man game because it's a different thing than average man game. But hey, listen, bus driver game and professor game, you don't even need to break it up like that. But we need to break up handsome man game because there's all these handsome guys. And what are we talking about here? Let's continue.
You get what I'm saying? When it's a spectrum, it's gray. It's like some girls are really extremely intimidated. Some girls are kind of nervous. Some girls are, they're cool. Some girls are like, whatever, this means nothing to me, right? It's degrees to it. It's levels to it. It's gray. It's not black and white. He's trying to make it seem as though it's black and white. So when I say you have power over.
Oh, no, it is black and white. Oh, it's definitely black and white. The game is definitely black and white. See, the problem is a lot of dudes love to live in this gray area. And this is why dudes gravitate to this handsome man game nonsense or believe in this, because they don't understand the shit is black and white. It's really this simple. You either have game or you don't. Black and white. You understand what I'm saying? There's no handsome man game and all. No, what the fuck are we talking about?
Over girls, right? Some girls. He's saying, nah, they ain't worried about it. Talking to them all the time. Yeah, that's a group of girls, but there's other groups of girls who don't talk to those guys all the time, who will feel intimidated, and you will have a sense of power over, and they will be interested. So 3 different girls can see a handsome guy and think 3 different things. One could think, oh my gosh, he's so out of my league, I'm not talking to him. Another could think, oh man, he's so fine, I'm about to go talk to him. Another one could think, he's fine, but he gotta come talk to me. 3 different reactions, right? They all feel the same way about you, but they respond differently.
What does that have to do with anything? You still have to go and talk to them. You still have to go and approach them. You still have to see if the woman's going to follow your lead. You still have to have a plan of how you're going to deal with the chick. You still need to know how to flirt and fuck. All these things, that everything he just said about how the woman is responding to you doesn't matter, because all that matters when a woman responds to you is she responding to your prompt? Is she responding to your leadership? It don't matter if 3 girls see you and they think you're handsome and they thinking all this other dumb shit. None of that matters. Is any of these women following your lead? That's all that matters.
They respond differently. And the bottom line is they respond. They have a reaction. That's the power right there. The fact that they have a reaction to you. Because when they see an average guy, there's no reaction. There's no response. There's no pulse.
It doesn't matter. The only reaction that matters when you're dealing with women is the reaction she gives you based on what you're doing, period. That's it. Let's continue.
It's just clear, right? They don't care when they see an average guy. He has to do something in order for them to care. But when they see a guy they find physically attractive, there's life. There's a response. There's a reaction. That's the power right there. That's the difference. That's the difference. And when she sees you, the handsome guy, when you come up to her, whether you come up to her or she comes up to you, that's the difference. She's not going up to the average guy, but when he comes up to her, it's clear until he does something to bring light. He got to, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that shit is.
It doesn't matter, because when that handsome guy approaches, he still needs to talk. And as soon as he opens his mouth and that motherfucker ain't got no game, right? It's a fucking wrap. In fact, and this is why I tell you guys to go get the book, Looks Don't Matter, because when you get that book, I explain all of this stuff, because guys actually need to learn this stuff so they don't talk about this goofy shit. Go to mrlocario.com and get the book. Is that he's saying, well, the girl, her shit spikes up when she sees the handsome guy, right? No, it doesn't spike up. You just got her attention. You understand what I'm saying? You just got her attention. So if a dude, this is what the pickup artists used to do. Pickup artists used to fucking wear big ass hats and dress crazy and look like fucking goth motherfuckers. And they walk into the spot and the person's like, oh, look at this motherfucker. Look at the way he's dressed. Right? You're getting attention. Doesn't mean that she's actually feeling you. You have to talk to her. There has to be an engagement in the situation. Jesus Christ, man.
It's called. He got to do that to get life, right? So this is he's telling the truth, sort of, but it's manipulated in a way to prove his points as he's going along. And
no, you just don't have game because see he cut it off where when I was talking about the houses. So I said this. I said basically, if I'm a realtor and I'm showing you all these houses and it looks beautiful on the outside, right? You still have to go inside the house to see if the toilet flushes, if everything is on point, and then you purchase the house if this house is to your liking after you tested it out and seen what's popping. So when I said that example, I was talking about how women don't think guys who are handsome are special because those handsome guys are like looking at a bunch of different houses on the outside. You still have to go on the inside. You still have to engage. You still have to interact before you actually see if you're interested. So you don't say, oh, this house looks amazing from the front. I'll take it. You see what I'm saying? But he conveniently ended it there because he knew that would have broke the whole point. You feel what I'm saying?
And each point is contradicting the last.
And all 8 of those houses look beautiful from the outside. We're standing on the lawn.
All right, I'm done with this video.
You see how he ended it conveniently at that point. Now, again, the video is getting long, so I give him credit to that. But what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is that there is no handsome man game. There is only game, period. Only game. And when you try to confuse yourself with this nonsense, that's what's going to make it harder for you to actually attract women. Because in order for you to really have game, right, you have to be a motherfucker who understands who they are. Who you are is not just your looks. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're identifying with just your looks or making your looks the sort of like the focal point of your experience, right? Then you are not going to learn about yourself in order to actually get what you want. You see what I'm saying? So it's very important for you guys to not get confused by all of this shit. Because again, he even said in the video, he's like, well, these guys are confused. They're like, wait a second. Like, you know, these girls are giving me attention and they're dancing with me and they're doing all these things. But when I try to ask them out, they're not interested, or they leave me on red, or this doesn't happen, or they flake. Yeah, because you don't have game. You assumed that because you were handsome, you were entitled to bitches. And now you're confused. See, the fact that you would be confused by that lets you know you don't understand the game. You understand what I'm saying? And check this out. He said that women will approach you, women will gravitate to you and do all this other stuff. You think if a woman was intimidated, she would approach you? Just think about it. Think about it. But guys, learn this motherfucking game. Do not get caught up in all of this other nonsense. You feel what I'm saying? But listen, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me this long, man. It's damn near almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Shit. It's damn near 3 o'clock in the goddamn morning. And y'all motherfuckers is rocking with me. I love y'all. Y'all motherfuckers is on point. You feel what I'm saying? Hold on, let me see these questions real quick. He said, can we agree that being handsome will improve your mindset? I never had female compliment me because I was ugly. After my transformation, I got compliments from females. Now I'm starting to like myself. No, you don't like yourself. Because what happens is that once you stop getting compliments, you're going to feel bad again. And then you're going to be fishing for more compliments to feel good again. And then when you get more compliments, you're going to feel good again. And then when you don't get compliments, you're going to feel bad again. So you still have the same mindset. You understand? So it says, what's your opinion on dating women taller / physically bigger than you? Bad idea or irrelevant when you have game? Well, this is the thing is, you know, if you're intimidated by that type of shit, or you don't have any, if you are not confident, then it doesn't matter what type of woman you're dating. You understand what I'm saying? right? But if you have game, right, it's not going to matter if she's taller, bigger, whatever the fuck it is, because you have game, right? Which means that the woman is following your lead. Understand what I'm talking about? If you don't have game, then this could be an issue, because what could happen is that if a woman is taller or physically bigger than you and you don't have game, she can look at you and little boy you. You understand? She'll be like, oh, he's, she'll feel like, oh, he can't protect me. He's this regular, scrawny, goofy motherfucker. I'll use him for money, but I'm not really seeing him as a man. You understand what I'm saying? And so you got to have game to be able to interact with women in general. But if you're in that type of situation and you don't have game, then a lot of times what will happen is that because of that dynamic, right, she's going to use that as something else to sun you, use that as something else to play you. You understand? Because any situation that a woman can use, if she sees that you're weak, she'll use it and make it happen. You feel what I'm saying? But guys, that's pretty much it, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. And I will holler at you guys later. Y'all have a great night. And I will holler at y'all soon. And remember, the truth is inside you. And I am out of here. All right, peace. Later. Step up your game and go to shoplocario.com. That is the place where you can get my books, audio, and video programs in one place. All you got to do is type in shoplocario.com and step up your game today. Game Kings 2, The Definition of Man, is out right now. Click the link below or go straight to masculineidentity.com to get your copy today. Click the links below to get private one-on-one coaching sessions with Mr. Locario or Miles Cunningham to step up your game. These coaching sessions are designed to help you with your specific needs in the dating game. So make sure you click the links below right now so that you can step up your game today. Now, before you go, click the link below and go to badboymembership.com. Now, badboymembership.com is a place where you go to get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. Listen, I know you're tired of being rejected. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of being afraid to approach women. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of not getting the women that you want. Go to badboymembership.com. Listen, I know you're tired of being alone on a Friday night. Go to badboymembership.com. Now picture this. You'll go from not getting what you want when it comes to you dealing with women to actually getting what you want, to being the guy women want to be with, women want to date, women want to have sex with. All you need to do is go to badboymembership.com, follow the steps, learn the game, implement the game, and then you will get the woman you want. Make sure you go to badboymembership.com today. Click the link below. Click the link below or go straight to MrLocario.com to get the documentary Game Kings, The Definition of Game.
Because Locario, in my opinion, is the best dating coach on YouTube or whatever the fuck. Everything he says, ambulance. Everything he says, I have nothing against him. I have no contradiction. Everything he says, I say, yeah, it's this guy, it's on point, you know. This guy is good. This guy